all's already been run, and they've heard it. But in the dark, among the stars, they know the God is dead.
Yeah. So now let me change from a lyric to spit. Just like we didn't change Snyder's vision to shit. This man has no clue about DC Comics. And man, what the hell was with Superman's lit? I can't even watch it. It's such a disgrace. I really wish Shoes would punch shots in the face. Yo, what's up, everybody? Snyder Ave, what's going on? Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good time. So let's see who's in the chat here. What's up, Ryan? Ryan's gonna be on in a minute, I guess. He's in the chat, but he's not on here yet. He's coming on the show. And hey, what's up? Kamuzu, what's up, man? Belree, what's going on? She's coming on too in a minute. What's up, Lucas? What's going on? So how's everybody doing? Like I said, tonight's panel, we're gonna be talking about how we all first started liking Zack Snyder. I'm going to talk about some current stuff first, but we're all going to talk about how we first started liking Zack Snyder and becoming a part of the community and all that stuff. And so I'm going to bring in the first of my panel right now, who's here. Without further ado, my man Vega. What's up, brother?
What is good? What is good, my brother?
What's going on, man?
You already know. Doing good, doing great.
Hey, that's what's up, man. And Real Burns down here, Ryan Rivera. What's going on, man?
What's up? Give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna set up my light real quick and I'll put my camera on.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Do what you gotta do, man. So yeah, Vega, let me ask you, because I haven't really talked to you in a little bit. What's your opinion on Titans, like as a whole, as the show? You know what I mean?
Right. You know, I'll be honest. I'm a bit behind. I've only caught the first 2 episodes. I kind of been
of 3. You mean of season 3? You mean?
Yeah, season 3.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah. I got
you. So, but just with those 2 so far, like, it's overall it's good, but I'm not a fan of the pacing.
I agree there. Like I said earlier, whoever's in charge of the episode orders they're dropping the ball a lot. Yeah.
Right.
What's up?
Right. Going on, Caleb. So yeah, I just feel like the pacing is a bit off. You know, but even the storyline for sure, it's intriguing that they're kind of going a different route with it for sure. You know, it's not what we know, you know, for sure, like what we've gotten before as far as like, I don't want. Is this spoiler?
Yeah, it's fine. Everybody's seeing it. Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm the end of the week, you know, so it's like
right.
It's been talked about on everybody else's shows already. So
okay, but so yeah, like, you know, I mean, and again, I don't even know it all either. Like I said, I'm only 2 episodes in, but so far with the whole like Jason Todd thing, you know, it's just obviously a different story than what we've gotten before. So if you're a fan of, like, I guess what came before it and how that story was told before, I think you probably will be disappointed with this. I think it's but if you're open to the idea of something different, then this shouldn't bother you. I mean, clearly,
my whole thing, dude, is like, it's like, I get the gripes people have with it, you know what I mean? But to me, it's like I lived through like Batman 89 happening, and I you know, and even to an extent Christopher Reeve Superman a little bit, you know, just like different iterations of different characters. And this is the first time that all these characters basically all at once, you know what I mean, are like getting brought to life, like live action.
Yeah.
And I just think people are being way too critical of it. I mean, for a first go and like what they're doing, you know, what it could have been. I mean, it could have been CW. It could have been, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really like it. I think, you know, and I'm a huge fan of comics too. So
I agree in the sense of like, you know, I get excited just to see like, all right, cool, they're bringing these characters to life. And again, I think like you, I do understand the gripes in the sense of like, if you were waiting for a certain iteration that, you know, of the character you like and you're not seeing it, I can get that. You know what I'm saying? Because 100%, this is different. This isn't spot on. You know, it for me.
I mean, and
definitely,
it's a series too. It's being planned. Like, how can we? You know, they want to make it their own. They want to make a story.
Yeah, they want to exactly,
you know.
and that's the way. That's what I understand. Like, you can tell they're trying to make it their own. They're dragging certain things out. Again, my biggest gripe really is just the pacing. I feel it's a bit out of place. I wish if it feels up to me, take more time. You know what I'm saying? Be more patient.
Definitely. Yeah,
dish it out slower, because I feel like certain things you're pop, they're trying to like get it out there, and it's like
I really think the Russian Red Hood thing, like rushing the Red Hood story. I think they're doing. I mean, now that episode 5 kind of explained backstory on it, like I don't hate it as much. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever, you know what I mean? But I really think it's because they want to do the spinoff show. Like, if you go back and read articles back when it was first coming out in season 1. They were talking about doing a Red Hood and the Outlaw spinoff show eventually. Like, that was in the plan. So I'm thinking like it probably still is in the plan, and like it's supposed to be him, Corey, and Arsenal. You know what I mean? And like in the comics, they have the 3-way relationship too, because like her race doesn't have monogamy and shit, and she like loves them both, and they're like, okay, cool, we'll just both be our boyfriend. You know, like oh, hold on, Belle Ree's down here. Let me.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Belle Ree? What's going on?
Hello.
What's up, Belle?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, chilling. We were talking about Titans. I'm defending it. I'm like the sole person that loves Titans. Like, I'm like, for once, I'm like the minority. You know, I'm actually defending it. Like,
I think a few people like it.
What's your opinion on it? Like, as a whole, the show, like.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've only seen up until the first half episode. So what I've seen so far, I'm kind of like, it's half and half for me. Like, there's some stuff I don't like, and there's some stuff I do like. Just like how I feel about Gotham. Yeah, I feel the same way about the Gotham series. Like, half of it's trash and half of it I like.
I think there's more redeeming qualities in Gotham, to be honest. I don't know. That might be a hot take. That might be a hot take for me. I don't give a fuck though. That's just what I'm thinking.
You said redeeming quality?
Oh God.
I get what you're saying.
I may be the odd man out, but I don't give a fuck. I think Gotham has more redeeming stuff than Titans.
You know what? I have to say, honestly, I didn't finish Gotham because I jumped ship. Like, I was like,
when did you jump ship? What season?
Probably like 5 or 6 or.
Oh, you jumped right when it was about to end.
No, wait. How many seasons are there total?
5.
Well, there was 5.
Oh, no, then it was like season 3 probably. I jumped ship. Oh man, I think I made it through.
I mean, I'll admit season 5 was terrible. That was a pretty trash season. So.
that was the worst of it all for sure.
It was literally a rehash of Dark Knight Rises. It's literally what it was.
I didn't like the overacted villains, and like, I don't know. It was all a little Fox. To me, like Fox Network. To me, you know, they got like they're not infamous for great TV shows. Really, they've had a couple diamonds in the rough over the years. Like the Terminator show was good. The Sarah Connor Chronicles, that was good. Yeah. There was another one recently that I thought was good. The Following, with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, that was M. Night's show, wasn't it?
I think I think so. Someone like that, yeah. But I mean, for the most part, like when it comes to like drama shows and shit, like NBC's like knocks Fox out of the, you know, like Fox always has that cheesiness layer to their show or something, you know, like CBS too.
It's weird, like Gotham will go from being like a super dark, fucked up show to like some utter cheese will happen next.
Yeah, like it's almost like Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher mixed, kind of, you know.
Even a little bit of like Zack in there too, like
yeah. That's what I mean. Like, but it was just like the moments that went into like the Schumacher territory really just turned me off from it. You know, like I was like, this is too much. You know, like
it's weird.
Like, why are all the villains growing up and Bruce Wayne's a kid? Like,
like the Penguin character, like he teeters on the line of being like Danny DeVito, and then he'll jump out of like a fucking '66 cartoon version.
Honestly, I liked him though.
Like, he was one of the best parts of the show.
Like, I thought he was the best part of the show. I thought, like, I really liked his character. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't really like buy the OC Jim Gordon, like, you know,
the OC Jim Gordon,
like
Ben McKenzie. I thought he was actually pretty good in that show.
I like
he had his moments, but I thought the
like
Penguin
that
dude was
Jim
hardcore
Gordon.
the whole time. Like he was in the one season premiere of Walking Dead when they get their heads bashed in. Or
Yeah.
I
was just thinking about that.
He had like blonde hair and shit. Like,
He had that bleach blonde hair. I was like, holy fuck, that's fucking Oswald when I saw him.
But I'll tell you what, one thing I like, and I know Ryan completely is the opposite on this, but I fucking love Scarecrow now after episode 5. Like the whole, like, I totally feel like it fits the character perfect. The whole psychedelic side, like him being a pothead, all of it. Like I feel like it fits the MO of Scarecrow in this, especially in this universe. But you know what I mean? I just feel like it's perfect. And like the whole him doing the fucked up dance as he's like giving the dialogue to Jason, you know what I mean? Like it was great. I thought, like, I was like I could totally see the costume on him and that scene happening and being twisted as fuck. You know what I mean? Like I saw Scarecrow in that moment. I felt like, you know what I mean? Like, and so many people,
I'm glad you like
with me on it. Yeah,
I'm glad you like him.
I haven't got that far yet.
Oh, sorry.
You gotta catch up, girl. Come on now. You gotta catch up, girl. Come on now.
What about what about What If? Are you caught up on that? Did you watch those?
What if?
Yeah.
No. I don't watch
That's pretty good.
Belle's a Marvel hater. She doesn't like it.
I'm not a Marvel hater. I don't care about the characters.
I'm not being serious, Belle. Stop it.
I know.
I'll tell you what, it's better than most of the live action stuff, honestly.
What is it about? Is it the touches into multiverse and all that?
Yeah, it's just like it's like an anthology series, like Twilight Zone or something, where each episode individually, you know, like a different Earth like version of something, you know, like
it's actually really good. I actually really like it.
I saw the first episode. I haven't seen the other two.
2 is really
good. The first episode was actually pretty good. I can understand some of the gripes about it. I can get it, but I think overall, for what it is, it's actually good.
It was a good opener.
You know?
Episode 2 is easily my favorite.
Yeah, episode 2 is my favorite too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 3 was good, but it was predictable. I thought, like, like once you knew the premise, it was like, okay, this is gonna keep happening.
The best part, though,
until the end,
me,
you know, it was like
the best part of episode 2 is Lake Bell as what's her face, Black Widow. The voice, I love that actress. She's really good, and she's Poison Ivy too in the Harley Quinn show. So I thought she was really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I heard that voice and I was like, that sounds like her. And I looked it up and I was like,
that's her. Harley Quinn show comes back, man. That Harley Quinn
I love that show.
Awesome, dude. Like I wasn't even gonna watch it, and I'm glad I gave it a chance because I was like pissing myself. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. The same way that cartoon pokes fun at the DC universe, on more of like a Ren and Stimpy level, Teen Titans Go does the same exact thing in a very tasteful, like, if you know DC, it hits kind of way. Because I mean, I started watching it because of my kid, but then when I realized, like, oh, this is like funny as shit for adults too, you know what I mean? Like, it's really, and especially it's like 80s pop culture and DC shit being poked fun at constantly in like a tasteful way, and it's awesome.
I still laugh my ass off at the Jim Gordon in that show. He's like a fucking alcoholic.
Oh, dude. And him and Batman, they're always sneaking around behind Alfred's back and shit. It's so funny. Yeah, dude. And fucking, whatchamacallit, they a lot of times too, like at least a couple times a season, they redo famous episodes of the old one. Like they redo the story, but make the punchline of the story become like completely ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even like, I think King Shark is better in that than fucking Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he is.
even though he's a dope in that show, at least he can talk at least properly.
And he's supposed to. Yeah, and he's supposed to be like it's Teen Titans Go. You know what I mean?
Like, I never thought
it's not a rated R Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even the Suicide Squad, dude. I haven't even watched it. I'm done. Like I was done after that second viewing. I watched just to review it and talk about it. It's right there with Justice League for me. Like I have no desire to watch it again. I don't know about that. I really don't. Like it. I don't know about that, dude. It's Justice League is pretty bad. I'm like, I watched that and I'm like, I don't want the DC universe to be like this in any way, shape, or form. Like this is horrible. Like I don't know. I'm just like,
it's a parody, man. It really is.
It's like a parody of the Suicide Squad. Yes, really is.
I mean, and look, I'll be honest. I laughed at some of the stuff. It is funny.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah,
but that's what it is. It's a comedy. Make no mistake about it. It is a Guardians of the Galaxy rated R with DC characters. That's what it is. It's
like
a
exactly
Marvel
everything it claims not to be.
That's what Marvel would look like rated R, but they use DC characters. That it is what it is. You know?
I almost feel like in a way Warner Brothers mistakes like are wanting the movies to be darker for like if we put violence and cursing and you know what I mean, like that's going to somehow satisfy this fan base because they don't get it. They don't get that it's about the complexity. It's about the depth. You know,
it's like the people who say it's like the people who say, well, why is BVS Ultimate Edition rated R? It's like it's not just about violence; it's also about the subtext of the story, what the film is dealing with. Like we're dealing with a political thriller drama that goes pretty hardcore. So it's not just like some of the blood splatter that we get. It's also it's the subtext of the film as well. It's why it's rated R. It's got that rating.
Yeah, it's an adult comic book film, like straight up.
Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be rated R. That's the thing. That's not the rated R thing. Is not the. That's
it's
just
like a gimmick.
The cherry. Yeah, it's just the cherry on the cake. But that's not what it is. I mean, you can watch the Dark Knight trilogy and you get the same sense. It's adult comic book movie films. That's what they are. You know,
it was like trying to be Pulp Fiction, but it came up completely short. Like felt cheesy because it didn't reach.
It felt like a shittier version of a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Of a Quentin Tarantino, very much. Like if some B director made a remake of like a Quentin Tarantino movie. That's what it felt like. Yeah,
it's like an edgy 12-year-old making a Grindhouse movie. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like John Cena is perfect to put in that. Like,
right.
I laughed only 4 times watching the movie. 4 times.
Oh,
that's
man.
4 times.
The one time I genuinely laughed was when they get caught in the tent, and even though I hate that scene because I feel like that scene's so fake that like she's not like, oh my god, you killed all my people, and like they didn't hear anything. Like the whole fucking thing is so fake and not realistic. But when he says, I imagine they were all my mother and killed them all. That made me laugh. Like I was like, you know, like that's pretty funny.
Parody, man. It is what it is. It is a parody. Nothing in that movie is serious. It's not to be taken serious. It's, you know, and look, I'll be honest. I definitely laughed more than 4 times. I'll admit. But I laugh at a lot of things. I find a lot of things funny. So
I did laugh.
I don't know about everyone, Camus.
Not everyone can move.
I tend to think it's tipping in our direction lately. Like
one of the parts I did laugh the hardest though was when what's his face Bloodsport says nobody likes to show off, and he's like, yeah, well, not if it's dope as fuck, and then he's like, fuck, that's true. I did laugh pretty hard at that. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
What's up, Darkstar?
Darkstar.
Yeah.
But so how about the No Way Home trailer?
Oof, No Way Home.
or is that what it is? No Way Home, right? Did I say Far From Home? No Way Home. Yeah.
I have thoughts.
No Way Home. Would you say you said you have thoughts? Is that what you said?
Yeah, not as burning as my Titans thoughts, but I think the trailer was okay. It was fine. It nothing really like super hyped me up until like Doc Ock and like you heard the Green Goblin. That's when like I got like chills. Like that's when I was like, holy shit! Like this movie looks like fine. Like there might be some cool redeeming things, even though I don't like Tom Holland Spider-Man. I think the fact that we most likely will get Andrew and Toby back and their villains, I think that'll elevate the movie a lot more.
I'm 100% agree with that. I 100%
well,
agree with that.
That's where my head's at too. Is like I'm excited to be excited for Spider-Man. Period again, and it's because of that.
Have you guys watched like everything surrounding the MCU so far, like the Lokis and all that? Like
no, I haven't taken the time out.
Loki's good.
Because I know Loki's good. I by far I feel that that's the best.
And I actually feel like Loki matters to what's going on now.
I
like
think
if you're taking What If to be connected to the whole thing, almost, you know, it's almost like Loki set it up, kind of like.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. But that's why
I was surprised. I liked it more than
Doctor Strange as well. Because like I don't know about y'all, but like I mean, I don't know if if you guys.
Well, now there's
the
like
MCU
shit
like
coming
that.
out saying X-Men's gonna pop up because of Doctor Strange or some shit, right? Like,
That'll be something.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be. Look, that movie's obviously going to be what connects all these alternate realities that we're seeing or alternate timelines that we're seeing. That's what's gonna be. That's gonna be the movie that connects it all together and brings it all under, one film. Yeah.
I really hope the guys pretending to be strange because it would be really messed up if the actual Sorcerer Supreme just fucked up because Peter was.
That was.
That's my theory. I don't think it's the real.
I mean, that's kind of MCU-ish. I feel like that's like what you'd expect.
I feel like since it's the MCU, that would have been the perfect time to use the first fuck in the MCU. Just shut the fuck up, Peter, while he's doing the spell. Like, I think that would have been great.
That would have been a good F-bomb, yes, right. They get one in a PG-13.
Wait, Mary Jane's gonna forget. My aunt's gonna forget. What about Ned? Ned's my best friend. Like, shut the fuck up, kid. Like, seriously.
Right. No, it's like, can you be any more annoying, dude? Like, oh, God.
Yeah. Why is he helping him? Is it just because he was Tony Stark's ward, or does he feel bad? Like, he's like, oh, this poor kid. Like, why would he give a fuck? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or form. Like, this guy's the Sorcerer Supreme. What business does he have in wiping people's minds just because Peter Parker asked him if he could do it? Like, that just does not make sense whatsoever. So I don't think this is Doctor Strange. Not the real one. I think this is like a variant or maybe some other character.
Hopefully my theory's right, and the whole reason this is happening is because when Feige got Sony to extend the Spider-Man deal, part of the deal was that this storyline gives them Garfield back on their end, and they get to keep Holland. And that's how Feige got Sony to not just take Spider-Man back and extend these movies after Far From Home. Because Sony really didn't have a financial reason to stay. And somehow Feige finagled them into it. You know what I mean? He got them to extend it. And all of a sudden, there's this whole multiverse plan and the Spider-Verse happening. And I really feel like I think Toby's going to die and maybe set up Miles or something. And, I mean, sorry if Andrew Casale's watching, but this is just my opinion. I think he's going to die, or maybe they'll give him a send-off movie even. But I definitely think Sony, with like Venom and all that shit, is going to get Garfield, and that's what I'm hoping.
I've been thinking that for a while. I think Garfield would fit perfectly with that Venom universe. I mean,
and I feel like, because, dude, Feige wanted Garfield in the beginning, and Sony said no. Sony told them to recast, and then they kept going forward with the Venom movies, and now they're doing Morbius and all that shit. Man. And I really think Sony planned. They thought they were going to do it back at after Far From Home, I guess, and they were just going to shut down Tom Holland or something. I don't know, but I think that they always plan to bring him back and keep it going. I do. I think, I think they kind of used Marvel to get the train back going or whatever, you know what I mean? And they did their thing in the meantime, and they all made a little bit of money, and now like Sony can go back to their own universe, and they can both coexist and make a ton of money, and everybody wins. You know what I mean?
I mean, no disrespect to Holland. Like, I think he's like a decent actor from other movies I've seen, but I don't know like what how they're writing the character of Peter Parker so far in the MCU. I'm not fond of it. Like, he doesn't, like, we're like, what, 4 movies in now where he's appeared and he still doesn't feel like a fully fleshed out individual character. Like, he's always, like, I get it. You want to build him up as, having like an extra leg to help push him forward, like a mentor or something like that. But that was one of the main purposes of Uncle Ben. You don't even have him.
Dude, they did so much wrong in the beginning. Like, who cares if you had to tell the origin again? You should have told or just skip the origin and start with an older Spider-Man. Yeah. But to make him a kid and make it supposedly 6 months after Uncle Ben died, and Aunt May's like flirting with Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like, it was made for the streets from the beginning, dude. And then he's like Iron Man Jr. You know what? Let's just make Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and he can become the new Iron Man. How about that? Like,
let's get Sally Fields back, everybody.
Is Iron Man Jr. You know what I mean?
Like, Iron Man Jr. That's what it is.
That's what they reduced him to.
Like, the only time, a total slight to Peter Parker's character in general. It really, who would have thought Marvel was going to drop the ball with fucking Spider-Man? You know what I mean? Like everybody's like, Marvel's getting them back, and then they do, and they do this. As soon as I saw Tom Holland, I was like, I don't feel like he's Peter Parker. Like, what are they doing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I feel like if they wrote a better character and give him more to do in these movies,
I agree.
Then, I mean, yeah, she's pretty banging, but like, come on now.
She was my number one. She's my number one for years, dude, like since Untamed Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta get better people to write this character and get some better writing for fucking Zendaya as the supposed MJ. I mean, she's like,
yeah, like, oh, we can't call her Mary Jane because a movie that happened fucking 20 years ago had that character. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, why does she have to be like not Mary Jane?
She's a good actress too, and they just have her looking fucking homeless.
She's a very
and she looks like she's gonna be good in Dune. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, obviously. I mean, for her to even be in Dune, she must be.
I mean, I don't know. Did you guys watch that movie? What is it called? Malcolm or no? Marie?
Malcolm and Marie
on Netflix.
Nah, not yet. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I know her.
She did phenomenal there with John David Washington. You know what I mean?
I know her acting chops mainly through Euphoria on HBO. That's a great show.
Euphoria.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah, she is good in that. Yeah, she plays a pretty good like don't give a fuck drugged out teenager kind. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. And in the Spider-Man movie, she's just homeless. That's all she is. She dresses like it. Like, I don't know. They just
and weird.
Yeah, she's like the
weirdo.
Yeah, she's like the awkward chick in like the back of the classroom, which MJ just that's not her character whatsoever.
Yeah, she's like the high school crush that all the fucking dudes want to F.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's who she is.
She's she's an extrovert. Like she wants attention. She's kind of like an attention seeker, but like at home, like she struggles like with her father and like depression and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. That's why I love the Tobey Maguire ones.
Yeah, I do love those Tobey films. They are great.
I always had such a. It's funny because it's come up a lot because of their appearances in this movie, but back then, like I love those movies too. But I always had such a fucking problem with the organic web shooters, dude. Like,
you don't like them
because it's such a big part of the character, and he makes his web shooters and shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I was so pissed about that. I'm like, I felt like it was lazy. You know what I mean? Like it was lazy writing.
Are we talking about the Tobey Maguire version?
Yeah. Like I always thought it was like lazy writing that they didn't make him create the web shooters or something. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
yeah, I get what you're saying. I get
it. I mean, I could take either or. Like the web cartridges, I don't mind. The organic ones, I'm not bothered by either because I think it's cool. Like, he's bitten by a spider. He should be able to fucking shoot webs.
I mean, that's how Miguel is. 2099. His arms are like that, but
they're organic.
Yeah, but Peter never is, like, except for in the movies, in the Tobey Maguire movies. But, so what's everybody? Go.
Overall, though, what are we saying? Like, which Spider-Man overall do we feel takes the crown to be Spider-Man in the film?
Are you saying who's our favorite?
Yeah. I'm like,
out of the movie Spider-Man, I'd say Andrew Garfield's mine by far.
General, let's just say if you had the choice.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, it's fucking Toby. Yeah. Wow. Listen, no disrespect to Garfield. I do like his Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I just don't like his movies too much. I just don't. I think he's a great actor. I liked Emma Stone as fucking Gwen Stacy, but like the rest of like the overall movies, like with the villains, the plots and stuff like that, I feel
what you just said is what it is. It's not so much Andrew, it's the villains and the plot that kind of, undersell the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. But I think him as Peter Parker and as Spider-Man is the best version we got of Peter Parker
and he was exactly like the current, like the comics recently. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's not too cool for school, as some people say.
Dude, let me tell you something. For everybody that thinks that, he's a fucking kid in New York City. He's a city kid. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. As a city kid that grew up in fucking Southwest Philly, like the skater kids were the fucking nerds. Like he would have been a nerd. You know what I mean? Like he would have been a nerd. That's how it is in the city.
It's just because he styles his hair and like skateboards and takes photographs doesn't mean he's a fucking hipster.
Like people would make fun of that.
He's a cool ass hipster.
Like, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the way you seen the way Flash was with his fucking buzz cut and his shit.
Yeah, with his buzz cut on the basketball team and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's like the environment he was growing up in, So like which also matched the comics a lot in recent years too. I thought it was perfect, dude. And the fact that they went back and did the original, like they made it the modern Spider-Man, but they went back and did the original first fucking story with Lizard and all.
I do really like I like Martin Sheen as Uncle Ben. I thought he was pretty good for what he was given in that movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Sally Fields. I really like Sally Fields as Aunt May.
Aunt May,
yeah, Sally Fields. Yeah, she was. Yeah, definitely. And even Martin Sheen is whatchamacallit, Uncle Ben too. Yeah, they were great cast, all of them. And I really thought if it went forward and we got Agent Venom eventually, the dude that played Flash, the dude from The Leftovers, like he's from that HBO show, The Leftovers, that dude, like he would have been awesome as Flash Thompson, Agent Venom eventually, like if he grew up and changed his ways because of Spider-Man shit, you know what I mean? Like
I guess what you could say about like those Garfield films is like you could at least believe some of them aren't still in high school. Like in the Toby films, everybody looks like they should be like in college or like they should be like paying taxes already.
You're not lying.
Like Joe Manganiello, he's fucking 6'5".
Dude, in part 2 and 3, Toby looks like he should have a family and kids in another city or something that he's hiding from everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean that's one thing. At least Andrew Garfield does pull off looking young too. Like
and even like the supporting cast too, like Flash or even Gwen Stacy. Yeah,
but they still all. I mean, it's movies. You suspend disbelief with age when it comes to, you know what I mean? Because they like, it's not like they can really get kids to play kids a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like they got
unless if it's like fucking Cobra Kai or something like that.
I do like that kid's playing Blue Beetle. Even though
the Spanish kid,
that movie really, but I mean,
it's good casting.
It's perfect casting. That's why.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's like. But did everybody hear about the Batman leaks?
Apparently these leaks.
Well, not leaks,
been going around.
Yeah, all these people that supposedly seen it and everything. Yeah, like.
Well, apparently it was just one person who saw it.
No, I thought there was a screener, and he's just talking about it, though. That guy, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that's where I seen the
Blu-ray Angel, whatever his name is.
Blu-ray Angel, yeah. I didn't have it to pull up, but yeah,
I agree with
saying like it's perfect and it's dark, and you know, here's my thing, like it's not like we haven't seen this happen with Warner Brothers DC movies before, and them get, you know what I mean? Like I feel like Warner Brothers picks these people to see it for a reason. You know, that's all I'm going to say on that. Not that I'm saying the movie's going to be bad or anything, and I'm hoping it's great, but I'm just not like trusting anyone's word on it. Is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what they're saying is cool, but
yeah, exactly. But we don't know what perspective they're saying it from. Is how I look at it. You know what I mean? The guy even said, "I don't care about Batman or comics or anything like that." You know, in one of the tweets. So it's like, so that means I don't really care about your opinion. Is what that means.
He just did that so it seemed more real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, this is what the world needs. Fuck the Snyderverse.
Never. We need it. We need it more than ever now because we're fucking starving.
Yeah,
it's been dead.
Yeah, it's just
it's dead.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm hoping it's great. Like I'd like, because I mean, we need something in this fucking sea of horrible movies that have been coming out of Warner Brothers. Like we need something good, but at the same time, it's like I'm really torn about it because I still can't help feeling like that's supposed to be Batfleck and it got stolen, taken over, and like that's what
the
that
major
is now,
thing there. That's the major thing. It's not so much about if this movie. Like I'm fairly certain that movie's gonna be probably a great movie. It's Matt Reeves. It's got a good cast.
That's exactly. Yeah,
I'm not in no way, shape, or form actually concerned for the movie as far as how it's going to be shot or whether or not it's going to be dark or not or whatever. I think more so the issue is just the history and the baggage it carries, and that's supposed to be Ben Affleck's film. You know,
well, and not only that, but didn't Warner Brothers just order them back in for reshoots? I thought that just happened like a week ago or something.
Did they?
They did. I wouldn't know.
In the news, I thought like that they.
I hope not.
Reshoots, like.
I hope not.
Or,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
honestly,
Reeves is fighting it or something. I don't know. But
from Warner Brothers, that's a bad sign.
that's what I mean. Yeah. So this version that this
not so
might
much
not
that
still be a version. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, not so much that the original version sucks. What that means is they're about to fuck shit up 9 times out of 10. That's what Reeves
yeah,
is
and
Warner
they're
Brothers
saying
like.
it's got a 3-hour runtime too. We know that's a big no.
Man, like it's crazy. Like out of all these fucking DC movies they've announced, I'm so hyped for that Batman movie. And if Warner Brothers fucks it over, it's gonna destroy it for me completely.
Yeah.
Well, just the fact that it's a separate Earth that like allows me to be excited about it.
If they fuck that one up, or if like if they mess it up, that's the sign. That's the writing on the wall for sure. Like, man, you guys couldn't even get this right.
Yeah.
That's
off of a 2-minute teaser from Fandom. The movie wasn't even finished. Sold everybody, including me, 150%. This movie's gonna be fire. And if WB just dicks with what Reeves is trying to do, it's gonna be a catastrophe. It will.
Yeah,
definitely will.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say, for me, I just like everyone, or just like Ryan stated, it's that teaser that they gave kind of it had me like, okay, they're talking business, but for me, like I said, really my only issue is just the Ben Affleck affair. Is that this technically should have been his film, not necessarily the exact film, but this what we're supposed to be seeing is Ben Affleck, and I do feel like the only reason this film kind of is what it is because it is actually being taken from the ideas of Ben Affleck's film, as far as the multiple villains that are going to be showing up. We know that was Ben Affleck's idea for his film, so I that's like my only, that's my only and biggest thing that's bothering me about it is just like, man, like, that should be Ben Affleck's Batman. We should have been gotten him already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they still haven't greenlit that. But now this movie's
even then we learned that from the storyboards that the Riddler was going to be involved from. It says in the storyboards from Ben Affleck's Batman film. And you're like, oh shit, like the Riddler is going to be in there, but then they changed to Deathstroke.
I didn't even catch on to that, and I listened to that like a million times too. And I didn't
from the
and I it didn't even compute to me that like, oh, that means he was in the past. Okay,
yeah.
I mean, it's like it's just sitting there waiting to make money. I mean, I feel like right now, Hamada, Emmerich, all them, they're so fucking scared right now about Discovery coming in and fucking all of them. You know what I mean? Which is what we want, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
we want them to overthrow everything. Like
they're scrambling to throw shit at the wall right now. They really are. I feel like, and it wouldn't surprise me if they're about to hack his movie up, thinking that they're gonna save the day again.
I went to the Discovery District too in fucking Dallas, and I looked up that tower, and I was like, man. Great trip though. I got to see that exhibit, which was cool too.
Oh, really? Like in person?
Yeah, I saw the storyboards. They were giant in person. They were like 9 feet tall, huge.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what it looked like when they showed the shot of his office and they were like rolled up out of the ground, and that shot like from back when they were working on it. But
right.
It's weird. Everybody who went in there didn't know what they were. I was like, am I the only one who knows the story? Like everyone's like, is this from that Justice League movie from like 2017?
The movie that everyone forgot. Like,
yeah. Even the fucking security there was like, do you know about this? Because I fucking came there like a geek in my Zack Snyder's Justice League shirt. And they're like, do you know about this? I was like, yeah, of course I know about this.
That's good.
That's baffling, though. That's just baffling, or not baffling, but it goes to show that there's still many people who don't know. You know what I mean?
You want to know what though, Vegas? Since Zack Snyder's Justice League's been out, I go out and see my buddies, and they're all like, "When's Dark Side? When's Part 2?" That wasn't going on after 2017, but now it is because if they would have just released it back then. It'd be a whole different. They'd be Marvel. They'd have what they wanted.
They would be done with the films. right now.
Yeah, you're right. They
If
would be done. Yeah, or I think we would have been
Flash,
yeah.
the real Flashpoint would be about to come out from Zack.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. Like
it would have came out this summer, probably.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just to know that.
That's what kills you, and it's like they're so hell bent to not admit that that's the truth, that they just keep shooting themselves in the foot and shooting themselves in the foot, and I just feel like that check's coming due, man. It has to. Like Discovery has to see these numbers and be like, what are these fucking dudes doing? Like, you know, like if they really look at DC films and look at what's going on in the campaigns and everything. How won't they see it? You know what I mean? Being like Netflix sees it, they fucking gave him free reign to do whatever he wants for however long he wants. And you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like Discovery being outside and not attached to this at all, hopefully sees it. You know what I mean? Like AT&T did. But then again, AT&T obviously got wore down by them too, but then again, AT&T wasn't an entertainment company. They were a phone company jumping into it. But
watch
Discovery
one day
is an entertainment
one day in a perfect world, we're gonna go to sleep one night, wake up next morning, be like, the Snyderverse is restored, and then we're all gonna be that's the dream world. That's like the fantasy version.
It's the opposite of the nightmare timeline.
Yeah. You wake up, you look at your Twitter, and you're like, oh my fuck, the Snyderverse is back, and then you got fucking Zaslav coming in like, we are so proud to announce Justice League 2 and 3 will be directed by Zack Snyder and all that.
Dude, if I just heard like there was a meeting going on with like Zack Snyder, Chris Nolan, fucking David Ayer, you know what I mean? Like I'd be like, thank God, like everything's about to go back to normal.
Yeah. Or you hear the scoopers on Twitter go like, hey, I've been hearing things like The Usual Suspects or something like that. Like before Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced, you had like Humberto Gonzalez, Grace Randolph, even fucking John Campea was like, I'm hearing things are going to happen at the Man of Steel watch party. Like,
oh really?
Well, back before, like they were hyping it up.
Yeah. But what was with the Grace Randolph? Grace Randolph just came out with some kind of like said some scoop that was important, didn't she? Like
I don't listen to her.
Me neither. But I know what was it? She said something that had to do with Snyder.
She knows something. She knows something.
Oh, the Ayer cut. I think she said the Ayer cut's like definitely happening or something, didn't she?
Is that what she said?
I thought so. Yeah, I might be wrong, but I could have swore something like that happened. I'll tell you what, she's like every once in a while she'll come, like she'll auto play when I'm laying around and stuff's playing on my YouTube on the TV, you know, and like her expression and all cracks me up sometimes.
It was about Bane in possibly coming to the.
No, that was the recent one. I'm talking about, there was one before that I think she was talking about the Ayer cut. Yeah, I knew about the Bane one. That was like something she said recent, but I thought she said something about the Ayer cut. Maybe it was last week or something, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, everyone was talking about the Ayer cut like last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was big.
Right.
Even if they're not going to restore the Snyder, well, I guess it's kind of like a 2-in-1 deal. Like for the Ayer cut to get put out, I feel like the Snyderverse has to be getting restored.
It would have been perfect if they released the Ayer cut before Zack Snyder's Justice League, because that's the fucking slot between BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League right there.
Yeah, it is. And I feel, but see, what you just said too is also important because
should have just left his ass alone and put Steppenwolf in there as the villain instead of fucking whatever
Enchantress
was doing.
No Steppenwolf. There shouldn't be Steppenwolf in that movie.
Like they're like, nah, let's put her in doing this.
Enchantress.
They don't want to watch Steppenwolf.
I just don't like the idea of Steppenwolf being in the Ayer cut. I don't know, like you
don't like it as a villain?
No,
I don't think.
Because then it doesn't fit into Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Like an very end, post-credit, very end kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a post-credit scene, but him as a villain, I don't see it.
But that was also in a world where Deadshot was like going to be in Deathstroke's place in the Nightmare timeline.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, you know what I mean? Not that they both couldn't still, like, Deadshot could just not have been in that scene, maybe, and he's still there. But
I still do like the Deathstroke and Joker change, though. I do love that. Because those characters, I think, I think those two characters fit so perfectly in the Nightmare. Like, no disrespect to Deadshot, he's still a cool character.
Mm-hmm.
But Joker and Deathstroke, like two of Batman's most vicious villains, working with him, I think that's an incredible dynamic that Zack would probably do.
No, it is. But what that really tells us is that some things have had to have changed for that to be the case. And low key, that kind of worries me. That what if we don't get the Batfleck movie then? Because how do we know that after the occurrences of the Batfleck movie that Deathstroke and Batman are actually supposed to be cool? I think like knowing now that we've seen the scripts of certain scenes, right, with the air cut, and we see that there's more dialogue between Deadshot and Batman in the scene in the alley.
Yeah.
And there's like a moment they share there of like Deadshot like not in front of my daughter, and and he's all like he kind of has Batman draw back a bit, recollect like, damn, like I'm about to do I'm somewhat doing something similar to what got done to me when I was a kid. And so there's a moment shared between Deadshot and Batman to where you can kind of understand, and it would have made sense that Deadshot is teamed up with Batman in the Apocalypse nightmare sequence, because they already have some sort of I guess commonality or common ground, so to speak, or some sort of exchange of humanity, so to speak.
I've been reading the Suicide Squad novelization. I'm about 176 pages in. It's about it's a 300-page book, and I'm 176
well, like
pages
in reference to the movie,
reference to the movie, it is very different. It's like it plays out like an actual like screenplay of a film. Like it opens with Enchantress finding the fucking doll in the cave and everything. Like there's a huge buildup to her turning into Enchantress. Then you go to Deadshot, then Harley. Like those are the three main characters that are built up in the film before you even get to fucking the Bell Rev prison. Yeah. No pun for you, Bell.
Right. Now you said, and I'm glad that question got asked, because I had the same question when I was on Prime's channel, and that's that, the whole parademon thing. Like, are we for certain that the parademons were going to be in the air cut? Is that a thing, or
he didn't film them?
Well, it's not just
script, but that wasn't filmed either.
They were early on in the concept.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But they were in the concept, but like, so what you think, like it's a concept they just eventually threw out, or is it something that you think they just told David Ayer, like, no, you can't do parademons?
Well, in the novelization that's based off, I think, like the second or third draft of the script, it's still the eyes of the adversary creatures. There are no parademons. Yeah.
Okay.
They did have
that
some.
Was my,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if anything, like, if it was going to be in the Ayer cut, it would be an add-on now after the fact that Zack helps him out with, and like they put a little post-credit scene of Steppenwolf or something.
That'd be awesome.
You know what I mean? But I don't think any of it's already part of it.
I could imagine like a post-credit scene of Steppenwolf like desolating another planet, and then all of a sudden he gets the fucking ping of the mother box.
Of the mother box, yeah.
And then the fucking boom tube just takes him, and he lands on the mascara. That would be so fucking cool.
No, that would be cool. That would be cool. But that kind of would then be contradicting to what we saw on BVS. And unless I guess
it wouldn't.
It would. It could be like something that happens literally prior to that moment.
You're talking about because of the Kryptonian ship with Lex?
Well, between that and what we saw in
that's not actually him. That's Lex is watching like. The ship projecting it to Lex. That's not actually Steppenwolf talking to Lex.
Zack Snyder's Justice League, you see the similar scene. It takes you back to there, and in that moment, the mother box of the Themysciran, the one that's with the Amazon Themyscira, it lights up in that very scene, and you see Steppenwolf look at it, and you could assume that that's the ding he's talking about, like ding, mother box, come show up. I was just trying to say, like, if we had seen, how could you do that? You could still do what he's saying. Technically, that what was happening prior to that moment of
that's what I mean.
Yeah. So it could still happen. I was just,
Well, the thing is too, when you go back and you rewatch Zack Snyder's Justice League, you start to realize maybe some of the time is a little off because you're being shown the Mother Box pinging in the Kryptonian ship, but then you wait like a few seconds later, and then the Amazon's Mother Box is going off. Like, there's something interesting going on with like that prologue, like that kind of shows you different perspectives of time, like with the Superman scream and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's all simultaneously, but it's not, because clearly for sure seconds are passing by after his scream is, I guess, projecting throughout the whole universe or whatever, or but so, crazy.
That's Vega. That's the VFX dude. that worked on the old project and is doing that.
Gotcha.
Oh, he's doing the new one. Yeah. I saw some of the stuff he was doing, man.
He's amazing.
He's
dude.
fucking. He's talented, man.
He's incredible, man. Yeah.
Doing good work, man. Good work.
But so that reminds me that the topic I wanted to throw around the room. I don't know where we're missing. Who are we missing?
I think we're missing Austin.
Austin said he was going to be late. Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I hope.
And
he's all right.
Dave, Ohio Dave.
Yeah, well, Dave, he said he hit me up like a half hour before, and he like got stuck on a long drive or something. He said, and like, I don't think he's gonna be able to make it. I think he's like tired. But yeah, Austin said he was gonna be late, but I didn't think he was gonna be this late. I don't know. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
But yeah, talking about you and everyone else, man.
Yeah. How does she die?
Yeah, exactly.
Does Batman just fucking kill her? And then she's like, promise me, Joker, promise me that Joker will die slowly. He's like, all right, fine, fucking die.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, he's like, shh, go to bed. Shh, sleep.
But yeah, talking about like when I first really got into Zack, so for me, it was definitely right from the gate 300. I like Dawn of the Dead, but I didn't make the connection until after the fact. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know Zack Snyder or Dawn of the Dead, anything about that. But when 300 came out, I was like, holy fucking shit, who's this person that just made this comic book come to life? Because it's fucking incredible the way he did it. You know what I mean? Because I knew the Frank Miller book ahead of time. You know what I mean? And then, I'll never forget, like one day, me and my best friend, he's like a comic book head too. And we were sitting on his couch, like smoking an L, and fucking like the Watchmen commercial came on. And like, it was my first time. I hadn't been at the movies in a while, so I didn't see a trailer or anything yet. And the commercial came on, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I seen Zack Snyder, and I was like, what the fuck? This is going to be incredible. This is going to be awesome. You know what I mean? So, and then, finding out that he was going to do Superman, I was like, this is going to be a dream come true. This is going to be so. Like, I was already a Zack Snyder fan before DC, but I mean, I know Watchmen's DC too, but I mean, main continuity DC. You know what I'm saying? I think you're muted, man.
Didn't realize I pressed the button. No,
okay.
I did mute it. Yeah.
But yeah, like I was definitely a fan of his because of 300 and Watchmen before Man of Steel, and even Sucker Punch. Like, I love Sucker Punch too.
Sucker Punch is fire. I don't care what anybody says. I love that movie.
Dude. Like the whole like abuse, relate and all that. Like it's mind blowing. That
once
movie.
You go deep into that film, like it gets better and better the more you watch it.
I was honestly shocked that it was original and it wasn't from a comic book. Like when I saw it in the movies, I'm like, oh, this has to be from a comic book, And I went to look it up, like, what? Like he wrote it, you know what I mean? Like, but then when I found out about Man of Steel and like, like he was gonna like do DC, I was like, this is gonna be exactly what, like, it's perfect. Like at the time, it was like the New 52 had just happened, and like everything, DC relaunched in this new, modern, darker, you know what I mean? Like it all just felt perfect to me. Like it felt like Zack Snyder was the perfect person to like bring the current DC comics to life, which he did, and he was. And it was an incredible, it was BVS too, even the theatrical version. Like I knew the blanks to fill in for the theatrical version, so it didn't bother me as much, you know what I mean? but I did know, like, I could tell, like, something wasn't, like, that something wasn't right. Like, I think I knew an Ultimate Edition was going to exist before an Ultimate Edition did exist, basically. And that's basically when I found my way into this community. It was like right around that time, because I started searching on YouTube about the Ultimate Edition and stuff, and that's how I stumbled across Chris Wong's channel. It was like the first channel I ever watched, and then I think probably Dave the Film Junkie was probably second, and and then from there it just started.
Same two as me.
It's funny, Anthony ACS was like, I stumbled on him completely by accident. It was his first live stream ever, and I forget what his thumbnail was, but it was something that made me, like, as a Snyder fan, like, okay, let me check this out, and like I think I was the first person ever in his live chat. I was just like, hey, what's up, like, and it was like his first live stream.
It's weird, like us Snyder fans, we like find each other in some weird way.
It's like, well, I honestly think it's just DC's fan base happening, like I always say that, like, that Warner Brothers fucked up so bad jumping the gun when they did, because they didn't give their own like, they were judging all the decisions they were making based on a fucking community of, like, critics and fan bases and stuff that were already Marvel based. And whereas our thing was, like, starting to become a thing and starting to come together as the universe was building up, you know what I mean? Like, and now it's stronger than ever. I mean, to the point to where we've had a fan campaign, forced them to release a movie, basically, like, it's fucking great. And
it's powerful.
It's very, you know what I mean? And it's just crazy to me to think that, like, if they could have just, I really think if they would have just realized, like, it would have went from us, it would have spread more. People wouldn't be so confused right now. Like, they have the general public way more confused now and off the universe than if it would have just kept going in the same direction. You know what I mean? Like, because I can tell just from the reaction of my family and my friends, like, how they've all reacted to Zack Snyder's Justice League is completely like, okay, this is what it like they totally get that, like, okay, this is like after BVS, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, what's going to happen next, and it's like, I have to break the news to everybody that, like, nothing might happen next, like, Blue Beetle might happen next, like, like, not Darkseid.
God, I want more fucking Darkseid.
No offense to Blue Beetle, but I'm just saying, it's like they're trying to do what Marvel's doing, and like, going with all these side character movies and shit, but, like, they don't have their fucking house in order yet. Like, they don't have their main, you know what I mean? Like, Marvel had the Avengers. Their first, what was it? I guess 6 movies leading into Avengers, right? Like, okay, so like, leading into Avengers happening, and that was just with the first 4 characters. This is 6 we're talking. If you're including Martian Manhunter, Endor, Green Lantern, 6 or 7, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, they're retarded. Like, no one's going to care. No one's going to care about these side characters when, like, nothing's built up to it. Like, no one's going to care about Batgirl when Batman hasn't paved the way for her. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. And it's like, no one's going to care about Supergirl when Superman isn't handing the torch off to her in a way, or like it's like and I just, we
haven't even seen the completion of the main characters, like, arcs that's been building over these last 3 movies. And now you expect us to care about these random side characters that you're throwing at us when we haven't even gotten the A-listers their proper due diligence.
And you got a whole fan base sitting here fighting online for a fucking Batman, for a Batman, for a Joker, for a Superman, you know what I mean? Like, but no, we're going to do Black Canary.
Austin is backstage, just to let you know.
Oh, okay, cool. Sweet. Hold on a second, Austin. It's 3. I think Enosh was probably, like, the 3rd person I discovered, actually. That's funny.
Yeah, I found Enosh a while ago. I think it was about 2 years ago I found him.
Enosh for a while. Did you see any of his concerts Saturday morning?
I did not. Actually, you know what? I saw a little bit of him rocking out on his guitar, which was pretty fire.
Yeah. I have.
What's up, Austin?
What's up, Austin?
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
Speaking of concerts, what is it? September 6th, Austin? Austin's new show.
September 6th, man. Yeah, lean on me.
Yeah, September 6th, I'm going to perform. He's starting a new show, and it's going to be like a new format where he's going to have music acts on. And
awesome.
I'm gonna be the first.
Yeah, it's going to be more like the late night show, format. Jimmy Fallon, but taken from all of them. I'm just going to steal from all of them.
I'm getting my lights and everything. I'm going to set up a little makeshift stage in here and actually perform a few of my songs on a show.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
Awesome.
That sounds awesome. Definitely excited, man. So what I miss? How much did I miss? I know I'm like what an
you missed everything. We're about to wrap up.
We're about to end the show, dude.
Oh god. Oh man, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so
Ill Life got his first super chat. Like everything was fucking.
Yeah, right. We got like 930 subs to go or something.
Yeah.
Hey, man. It'll come fast.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Anybody here that's not subbed in the chat, please go sub.
Yes, please.
Subscribe. Like, subscribe, share.
I'm not too proud to beg.
Hey, you gotta self-promote, man. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You have to.
Right. You got to.
I mean, I figure if I just keep doing the shows every week and stuff, it'll.
Yeah, you just got to keep going up the rank of people in the community. You'll just get more and more.
Well, I had Enosh 2 weeks in a row. That's pretty good. Like.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking good if you ask me.
Yeah.
Can't get anybody. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Suri, what's up, Suri? I know Suri said hi in the chat.
Thank you, Suri. Thank you very much. Callum, thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, so that was basically like BVS was the point where I really started to get into it, and then I mean, I met all you guys through the last 4 years of actually fighting to get the movie and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We all, what I mean, it was awesome. Like the whole, I mean, man, when I think back, it's like as much as like not knowing sucked and fight, you know what I mean, and like the Warner Brothers end of it sucked. It's like making all these friends and meeting this community. It's fucking amazing.
The Warner Brothers end still sucks. That's still
exactly. Yeah, but
it's not as strong as the community we built.
This is great.
Exactly. Yep. It really formed a strong DC community. It really did.
Yes, it did.
Like
100.
But you want to go next, Vega, or your Zack Snyder journey, or
Zack Snyder journey? Yeah, sure. I think something similar to yours, where like obviously the Dawn of the Dead, even though I saw it, I had no idea that was Zack Snyder. I saw that film when it first came out, and sure enough, entertaining as it was, and I still didn't know it was Zack Snyder. I really didn't know about Zack till 300, where like when I saw that movie, then I was interested, like, yo, who directed this? Because this movie right here is legit,
Yeah.
And then that's when I saw the name Zack Snyder, whatever, and I'm like, okay, damn. Then you got The Watchmen, and I was like, yo, this guy's, he's onto something, because it was just something different, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like very big on diversity, you know what I mean? Like, I like to be able to choose from different, types of styles, especially when it comes to music, genre, and things of that. I like to have my, my diversity in it all, and I felt like that's what Zack was doing. You had your Nolans with the Dark Knight trilogy, then you had Zack here doing The Watchmen, and then you had the MCU doing the MCU, and it is what it is. But then, obviously, Man of Steel, and it's obviously Zack and Nolan working together, and
yeah,
it
was the perfect handing of the torch. Like
it really was. I mean, it really was. It really was.
You got to think about a what if scenario. What if Nolan never called up Zack? It's like, where would we be today?
Right. Well, I'll tell you where we would be. We'd be Superman Returns in 2000. That's where we were at. That's where we were at. Okay. That's you know what I mean? Like, that
I always thought it'd be poetic if it ended up happening back, and eventually like Radcliffe called Zack, and Zack's like, "Well, I don't want to be the head. Why give it to Nolan?" You know what I mean?
Man,
I'm telling you, man. But that's the thing. Like, so it's funny because like, here we are. We had the Dark Knight trilogy. Nolan did what he was doing there with that, universe, and it was just beautiful. Then you had, like I said, Zack did The Watchmen, and again, boom, it was its own thing, and just amazing cinematography, in-depth political, things throughout the whole movie, things of that nature, making you question stuff. And then
here you comic to the world too.
Yes.
It's a lot of the world didn't know about that comic.
Right.
They act like they did.
No,
but
a lot of
until
people,
that movie.
They didn't know.
Like...
They didn't know. But and then here we had Superman Returns, which was like just
fucking trash.
No offense. Yeah, no offense to anybody who liked it, but it was trash.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was so outdated. It was so outdated.
The rooftop scene's badass, but that's it. Like
look, it has its moments. Look, it has nostalgia. I'll give it that, because if you were a fan of like the Reeves films, right, the Christopher Reeves films, then there's a callback to that in the Superman Returns movie for sure.
Yeah, it was literally.
But if you were a kid like me, you were hoping for a cool Superman movie. You were severely disappointed.
And that's the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when that came out, it was like, what the hell? Like it was a big like letdown.
I can't get an hour in that movie without fucking falling asleep. I just can't.
It really, it puts me to sleep too. Like if it's
like,
on TV or something.
The good thing about that, and obviously he sucks now, and he's been, but I did enjoy like the casting of Kevin Spacey at that time. I thought.
Me too.
I did too.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah.
The one
a great meme-worthy moment.
Yeah. But even that, you can tell like he kind of emulated Jackman.
Yeah.
Or not Jackman.
Hackman.
Hackman.
Jackman.
Hack, potato, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was very good.
Yeah, for sure. And but all that to say, it's a Man of Steel, and as you said, it was like the perfect hands off of the baton, because if you were really in, I'm pretty sure all of us here were in love with what Nolan did with the Dark Knight trilogy. It was, and you saw it transcend into Man of Steel, which most probably would have thought it's not going to work because it's Superman, but it worked perfectly. It synced. The balance there was done very well. It was still bringing in that formula of serious adult or grounded storytelling, but still respecting the lore and the I guess the sci-fi aspect of Superman. It was just a good balance and very up to date as far as just everything about him. To the suit. The suit was like a major thing for me. I'm like, finally, they got my man's in something that's respectable.
Yeah, they found a way to upgrade the pajamas. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, my man was wearing cloth.
He
was wearing cloth. In Superman Returns, I'm like, what's going on here? So yeah, they everything about that movie just definitely, again, it transcended from what we saw in Dark Knight. But somehow they made it work for Superman, and it worked, and it brought me back to actually liking Superman as a character, because I'll be honest, I was one of those guys that I kind of was Superman, whatever, it's all about Batman, but that film really brought me back to like, hold on, there's a lot more to this character that I really need to dig into, and that's something that film accomplished, and then granted. You said this while you were talking, Il, and I think this is one of the mistakes Warner Brothers made, and that's that they pulled the trigger too soon, because then by the time we got to Be Best, that's as you said, and I think many of us at that time, we were finding barely at that moment people who actually loved this about the DC films, the more serious take, the taking these characters serious.
That's what I mean. We didn't have as much of a voice in the beginning as we do now. Like people weren't listening to us, because we weren't organized yet, and you know what I mean.
Right. But the funny thing is like that's the same truth to the MCU. Like it took a while for that fan base to grow and actually have the cojones they have now to like stand up and say, yeah, we got great movies, you know, like
yeah, exactly.
They weren't saying
Feige
that in the
didn't
beginning.
waver. Feige didn't give up.
Yeah,
no
he
matter
did
what
not
happened,
waver.
and look what
He
happened.
did not waver.
You know?
And that's that. A lot of Marvel fans were actually giving them a lot of flack in the beginning. You know, calling them out for that Incredible Hulk movie, calling them out for even the Iron Man movie. Like they were getting a lot of shots thrown at them because a lot of Marvel fans thought like, oh, this isn't too true. This isn't true to the character, blah blah. Like they were getting the same thing, but Foggy did not waver.
Even because of the pre-in-universe movies, like the old Hulk,
the old ones.
You know,
yep.
people gave him crap about Thomas Jane Punisher and
yes,
all that shit. You know,
they were always getting flagged.
Yeah.
So that fan base didn't grow until after that cinematic universe grew, you know.
Yeah.
And it cultivated, you know, and Warner Brothers needed to do the same thing here. They needed to let this fan base cultivate, let it grow, you know. And for sure. And we finally got there now, a little too late, right? But not our fault, but because obviously the studio, you know, lost faith. But it wasn't until, you know, Batman versus Superman where I'm like, I was just thrown off by like, wait, why are so many people hating on this? You know, like this movie's a masterpiece, you know, like it's epic on so many levels. It's so deep. It's so, you know, like it's not about the rated R, like, oh, because I see blood. Like, yeah, that's cool. It's cool that we get that there, but that's not what makes these films what they are. You know, it's as Ryan said earlier, it's the subtext in the content, you know, what's being told. You know, man, it's really, it's a masterpiece. So I was just thrown off, you know, like, and I'm like, man, I cannot be the only person here thinking what I'm thinking when I'm seeing this film. And like you will, like I'm just like, you know, I'm on the web. I'm seeing all these haters, and then finally I come across somebody who's like,
it was a fucking battlefield back then, dude.
Oh man, it was
blue
rough.
check marks were all over us.
Right. Fuck the check marks.
Fuck them.
And then and then finally I came across YouTubers that I saw were actually like on my side of the fence, you know, and then, you know, obviously here we are, Suicide Squad comes out, Wonder Woman, and it's like, you know, we're all still kind of being hopeful, and then Justice League, you know, we're all, you know, still hyped about that. And I was one of the people who were still hopeful, like, well, maybe this is still a Zack film, you know, because you know, I'm being hopeful. You know, and I go and watch this movie, and I'm like, what the hell? What did I just watch? Like, that's not Zack, you know, like, but they're saying it's Zack, so maybe it is. Maybe he folded, you know, maybe he folded to the politics, and, you know, and I was believing it, but then sure enough, I go back to watch the YouTubers that I started following at the time, and they're like sharing everything that was happening behind the scenes, you know, you know, and that's kind of how.
And it's like it started to line up with what you were already
it started
thinking
to line up with everything that I was thinking,
you know?
exactly. And then sure enough, like, I guess at that time, you know, YouTube was finally getting their algorithms to actually work, you know, properly. So, you know, it's seeing that I'm watching these guys that are actually, you know, sharing this information, and then they're finally putting me, you know, I'm seeing like, if you like this, you should, you know, like the suggested watches, and that's how I came across these other YouTubers. And then I finally got to realize that they're like, if you want to learn more, go here on Twitter, you know, and that's how I finally came across, like, just coming and, you know, meeting everyone else, this whole community.
That's another thing too, is like, even all of us back then, I mean, I don't know about some of you guys, but, you know, back then the main shit I watched was like comicbook.com, fucking, you know, even fucking Screen Rant, shit like that, you know, like the major trade, like back before there was conspiracies between all of us. I watched major trade shit and stuff, you know what I mean? But then once we got to that point, it was like finding our people for a while on my YouTube algorithm was like diamonds in the rough. You know,
it really was. It really was.
Okay, bang, subscribe to that person, you know, and eventually cultivating and then unfollowing the old people over time once I realized that they were all part of the agenda. You know, it totally changed the face of like the comic book culture scene. Kind of, it really did. You know, like it's crazy.
Chris Wong was like one of the first guys I found when it came to
me too. Yeah.
It was between him, Louis Centeno. You know, there was also this other guy that I think he you know, unfortunately, like there was a few people you saw lose hope, you know, that kind of like lost their steam because they really were buying into the narrative, like, oh, it's not coming out. But I was J-Roar was one of those guys that was like in the beginning, like really pro Snyder. You remember him, right? J-Roar TV.
Yeah.
And I man, it bugged me out when he lost steam. You know, he's like, man, I'm done talking about it. I give up. You know, it was like, man, it was kind of like disheartening. I'm like, man, that's like
he was a huge fucking advocate. Like what, 3 years ago? Like he was.
Yeah, he was a huge advocate for it. You know, who else? You know who was kind of disappointed because it was like he was not only did he give up, but he was also just starting to sell the narrative of like it's not happening. Was Dingus Bringus. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh yeah, I used to watch him, dude. Yeah,
never heard of him.
Yeah, no.
He was like all of a sudden he tried to cross over into the scoop game and got all crazy.
He got all crazy with it, man. I was like, dude, why? But yeah, all that to say that, you know, to these channels and these guys that, you know, like, you know, finally I'm seeing them talk about like this community on Twitter. And yeah, then that said I had a Twitter, but I was never really engaged in it like that. But because they told me, you know, the Chris Wongs and Lewis and Tanner, they were like, no, you know, if you want to find the bulk of the load of the community and you want to get involved, go to Twitter. You know, there's this event happening, and it got me involved. That's when I got on Twitter. I'm like, man, let me see what's going on. You know.
Yeah, I was never even on there as a musician or anything until the
me neither,
stuff. You know, like I was on Insta and all that.
I always heard Twitter as like a fucking joke. Like, I literally got my
like
Twitter.
I pictured it like the Kardashians, like, you know, like that's how I pictured Twitter.
I got my Twitter like 2 years ago in 2019. That's when I got my June of 2019. That's when I started my YouTube channel. And that's when I finally got a Twitter.
Right. I same as you. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't until like like I said, these guys were like, that's where you want to go to find out what's going on, stay up to date with the event, follow the hub account. I'm like, all right, bet. And sure enough, I got on there. You know, started coming across everybody. You know, the hashtags, the retweets. You know, you're finding new people, and it's truly an amazing community that really and truly accomplished a lot, man. You know, I really don't know anybody else who has accomplished what we've accomplished. You know, so.
We're definitely the most tight knit fandom. Like we're fucking like intertwined with one another. We really are.
Even the people that have beef with each other are both still tweeting on those events. You know, like, it's like we're all still have the common goal. You know,
because the common goal is still there, no matter what. You know, it doesn't change, and that's that. We want more of what we got before. We want more of that Snyderverse. That's what we invest into. That's what we. You know, we're hoping to actually see get finished, and you know, and like you said, like, you know, after this Zack Snyder's Justice League, everybody's now saying, "Where's Darkseid?" Like, we all want that. You know?
I was saying on last week's stream, it's like
he's
when
right
I go out
here.
to the bar.
He's right here.
There he is. He's right there. See him?
Like I was saying last week, like.
Dope.
I go out to the bar and hang out with all my boys from the old neighborhood. Like every once in a while, we all go out to our old corner bars and shit. You know what I mean? And they know me as the comic book guy, as the DC guy and shit. You know what I mean? And they all literally the last couple of times I've been out ever since that movie came out are like, "What's up with Darkseid, Joe? When's it coming out?" Like, you know, like that's it. Like they're all, and I'm just like, dude, like, you know, I don't know, man. Like we're fighting for it. You know what I mean? Like. It's like, they're like, what do you mean? Like, it's like everybody watch, like, it's like huge, isn't it? Like, why? Like, they don't get it, you know? And I'm like, I just want to drink my beer.
It's like, don't remind me of my
You're gonna
pain.
forget everything I say tomorrow anyway, so it's not worth going through all this right now. I'm like, hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Just remember that.
Exactly.
Sorry.
No, no worries, Bo.
No, it's
the mom life.
Yeah, it sucks.
Who wants to go next? We got Austin, Bell, Ryan. Who wants to go next? We're going through our Zack journey, Bell. Our Zack Snyder journey.
Ooh. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need my stuff. Sorry.
I guess I can go because I gotta work in 30 minutes anyway. So.
Oh shit.
How far should I go back?
Well, we kind of been doing like where we started
all the way.
Really became a fan of him, like really like noticed and like that. Okay, this is this director making this, and we like it because of that, you know. And then talking about how we started with the community and everything too. After that,
well, when I saw Man of Steel, it was in 2014 out of the Red Box. I did not see it in theater because I was overseas and I had no idea there was going to be another Superman movie. Like, no clue. No one told me. So I watched it and like I binge watched it that weekend because like from start to finish, the movie grabbed my attention and kind of like how what's his name was saying about like it made him like the Superman character, you know. I've always liked Superman though, regardless, but that movie just made me like him even more, like love him, like literally like freaking love. I worship Henry Cavill's Superman. But after that, you know, I didn't know too much about Zack Snyder until BVS. And then I didn't even know BVS was going to be a sequel to Man of Steel. Like I had no clue until I saw Henry Cavill.
How good the marketing was, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember the poster that I saw. You know, you guys remember the poster, the first teaser poster with the Superman and Batman, and it has that.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
Right here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Fix it. Okay. So yeah, I remember I saw it at the theater. I think I was watching Planet of the Apes, and then I was like, "Oh shit," you know? Oh no, Jurassic World. It was Jurassic World I was watching, and then like I got really like, no. I don't remember what fucking movie it was. I think it was Planet of the Apes, but it was sometime in the beginning of 2015. And then when I saw the first teaser of Batfleck, you guys remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
I was looking at watching illegally on my phone that day.
Yeah. Well, I was one of the haters. I was like, because when I heard they casted Ben Affleck as Batman, I was like, no, you know. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, never mind. Like I think he's gonna do good.
My bad.
But yeah, and then ever since BVS, and that's when I started getting into it more not because of like, you know, the fact that it was so different, but I really wanted to stick up for the movie because like I really felt like it was not as horrible as people said. Like I really think it was overbashed. Like it does not deserve the score it has on Rotten Tomatoes.
To bash it. It became cool to bash it. It was like
it
was like everybody was jumping on the bandwagon, I think.
Exactly. And back in 2016. And like, you know, what the gripe I saw, the number one gripe about why, you know, it sucked was because of Martha, the Martha scene. That was the number one scene. Everyone wanted to fucking
it's the most mute argument ever. It's so
people
stupid.
memed the shit out of that scene to death. It just got old at some point. The fucking Martha jokes and everything. It really did.
Yeah.
Well, that got quick. That got old quick.
But I had to stick up for that movie. I still stick up for it till this day.
Oh yeah, no, same.
With my life, I will back that movie up with my fucking life.
But that was like actually. So you didn't have like knowledge of Watchmen and 300 being his before that?
No, okay. I've seen those movies, but I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know much about Zack Snyder until BVS, and then that's when I started watching more of his movies and getting to know him as a director more, like why he's so fucking hated. You know what I mean? And then like I started to realize that he is a visual storyteller. That's his thing. And like with Watchmen, there's a lot of that in Watchmen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because I had to watch fucking Watchmen like 4 times to get it. Like I just felt so fucking retarded watching that movie because like I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and then until I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So this same thing with what happened?
He was the first to do like literal adaptions, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like literal comic adaptions, like.
Yeah, and his aesthetic is really I don't know how to explain it. It's just like really dreamlike, almost like his aesthetic to his films.
Like, and that's
It's
exactly
avant-garde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's avant-garde.
And it's like he pulled it right out of the comic book. It looks like
Absolutely.
like literally a comic book movie.
Poetry.
And
not a superhero movie, a comic book movie. Like,
yes, an adult comic book movie too, because his movies are not for kids. And that was another thing too with BVS. Like a lot of the complaints was, you know, like, how's my kids gonna watch this movie? Like, this is not a Batman my kids would like. Like, I mean,
like I could recommend like 200 hours. So
well, you could take your kids to see Lego Batman if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it came out the same fucking year. Like,
I mean, well, but even then, it's like, what kids are we talking about here? Because like kids I know watch stuff like that, anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of, I felt like even that complaint was like so insincere, you know? Because
I was a fucking kid when I saw BVS. Like,
yeah, my son enjoyed it because it was Batman and Superman. That's all he saw. He was like Batman and Superman,
right?
So he liked it automatically.
I watched first rated R movies in the 80s. I'll tell you that. Like, as
there
a
you
kid,
go.
Like.
There you go. Yeah, the movies back then for sure, like RoboCop, dude. Come on, man. Terminator.
I watched RoboCop on my 12th birthday.
Alien and Aliens for me, those two are
right. I fucking love those movies.
Yeah, me too.
Come on now.
But yeah, he does not deserve all the hate. Like, I think he's a little overhated. Like, you know, people go as far as to attacking his daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
and it's like,
fuck those people.
Yeah, it's like, what did he do to you guys? Like, like, why is he so fucking hated? Like, he's not even that bad. I think he's great. I think he's wonderful. I love his movies.
I think he's tremendous.
Most of his movies.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, no slight to them, but it's Christopher Reeve movies and the Michael Keaton movies and the Christian Bale movies are all very much to blame for the hate against Zack Snyder too, because we have an entire general public that has been conditioned to versions of these characters that weren't really accurate over these years. And then when Zack tried to do something that was more accurate, they all thought it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like exactly what happened with the general public, I feel like, you know,
It's like the general public was groomed by these versions to think that these were the ultimate like pinnacle. They shouldn't be changed whatsoever. If anyone tried to replicate it, then obviously that wasn't
People
right.
think
But
Christopher Reeve created Superman, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they really do.
Yeah.
Like, it's no joke. Like,
kind of sad. I mean, he's great. He's great in all of it.
And that argument is so funny because even then they look like idiots because like Superman kills Zod in those movies too. Like he does, like it's the same. Like you know, you go back and you really watch these movies. It's like Keaton was definitely killing some people in '89 and in Returns. You know, like
killed like 167 people in that first fucking movie, dude. Like,
he killed a lot of my heart. Yeah.
The argument is so funny because it's like, did you actually really watch those movies, or are you not just you know?
It's like with these people. It's like with these people with these supposed Batman leaks when they're like, Batman doesn't kill in this movie, and they make it very.
Thank God.
And then they're like, oh my God, thank God we have a Batman who doesn't kill finally. I'm like, every fucking live action Batman has killed, you dumb fuck. Do you realize that?
Everyone.
Right.
Everyone.
Every one of them.
Even Adam West.
Yeah, in the '66 Batman movie.
Yeah, fucking vaporized people.
Yeah.
And never brought them back.
Right.
Yeah.
He never put drops of water on them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Ben Affleck is the best live action Batman in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you what, anyone that has seen Zack Snyder's Justice League now and doesn't get that it was a fucking story arc and he's not going to keep being that way now. You know what I mean? Then they're just fucking retard, like dense. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, like
fucking dense.
They're fucking dense, dude. Like it was the whole, even Superman killing Zod. The whole point of him fucking falling to the ground and screaming afterward is that he didn't want to do it. He felt like it was an absolute last resort. You know, like,
it's just like, crazy how that's the like, you know, people like take these films and they find things to hate.
Moment is him realizing that's the Martha, you know what
that's
I mean?
The point of all these. That's the point of all these.
That
films.
moment is so crucial to the whole story.
It really is, and people were like, "My mommy's name, your mommy." Yeah, like,
that's the point of those films. Like even Zack said himself, they're about Man of Steel is about putting everything together. BVS is about taking everything apart. Zack Snyder's Justice League, put it together. JL2, take it apart. Justice League 3, put it together. That's what it's about. You're deconstructing, rebuilding the character, then deconstructing them again. So it's what keeps the story more interesting.
It's funny you brought that up too, because I was watching Zack Snyder's Justice League yesterday, and I was thinking, the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking in my head, like, God, I want to see part 2 so bad, because it's like, you know, that like this was the Man of Steel of this trilogy. JL2 is going to be the BVS of this trilogy, you know, like, I can't wait to go back into like the dark Zack Snyder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're going to get back into the dark.
I think Justice League 2, you know? I think Justice League 2 would mix the best of what BVS had, but also incorporate what Zack Snyder's Justice League established, like the more high fantasy, more comic book elements, but you have that like political thriller element in Justice League 2, because you got the Justice League dealing with the government, about them being refugees, but then you have like the fucking Legion of Doom in there as well. Yeah.
But I mean, even just like when we finally get to go into the Nightmare timeline too.
Ooh, that'll be the best.
It's going to be incredible. Like I can't wait to actually see that be the timeline. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait for that. Like
for him wanting to do the Nightmare stuff is like he should. I just want to see him do a full on Injustice movie with the like. Which I guess Justice League 2 would be that, you know, technicality. Which I understand, right? If Zack Snyder went to Warner and was like, "Hey guys, I want to do Injustice," they'd be like, "There's the door." So that's probably why he was.
He would make a kick-ass Injustice, though. You can't lie, he would. He would.
I'll tell you what. He absolutely would, but. You know, like
even though everybody acts like, oh, he already did it, he didn't already do it. If he did a literal adaptation of Dark Knight Returns, like the way he did Watchmen in 300, it would be fucking incredible. Like he did an unrealistic, beefed up Batman, special effects, Sin City style. Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, and that was another thing too.
But he didn't do it. Yeah, you're right.
They said he wasn't comic book accurate, and it was like, yeah, he is. He's just not the version you guys are.
Like not the comics you looked up on Google. No,
even the suit though, even the suit actually was more accurate than any suit we've gotten. You know what I mean? Like the whole all black armor thing. That's not actually what Batman has in the in the comics. It's that gray and black two-tone.
It was like the new 52 Jim Lee suit, but he just made the ears a little shorter, like the Frank Miller version, basically.
Exactly.
Like Frank Miller.
The Frank Miller bat, but the suit itself was more like the new 52 Jim Lee version, you know, like you could say Jim Lee or whatchamacallit, what's his name? Capullo, right?
Yeah, there's elements of
Snyder, right?
I could see Capullo in there as well. The iteration,
just the new 52 in general. I feel like it was like that which was a throwback to the original version in the first place, the black and gray. I honestly think back in the old days when the blue first got brought in, it was meant to be like black with light hitting it. You know what I mean? And then it kind of over the years it evolved, and some artists took it to actually be blue. You know what I mean? But I kind of think because you know how back in the day with comics, how they would be inked when light would be hitting the ink parts, it would almost have like a blue shade, like I almost kind of think that's how the blue started with Batman. The original Batman was black and gray. That was the
black and gray,
like in the first place, and then when they did the new 52 relaunch and they did it that way again, I liked it. I thought it was good.
I mean, even the animated series, it was black and gray. The bad animated, he was black and gray. So.
Yeah, that was a prime example of it, like being black, but like the blue was the light hitting it, kind of. You know what I mean?
Right,
it got even darker. His suit got even darker.
The suit became more charcoal like. It wasn't as light gray as the BVS suit.
Yep.
And even like the material too, like how Zach made the costume design. Just the way the material had like that Teflon. Kind of look to it, like you could tell it like had some bulletproof shit in it or something, like it was.
And you can actually move around in it, not be all like constricted by like.
Right, he's agile. Exactly.
He's not doing the robot, all that.
Yeah. Or Michael Keaton's Cal, you guys remember where he used to like turn his whole body?
Oh my god, hilarious. I can't get over that scene in '89 when he like falls over himself and he hits the fucking the chairs in the cathedral. And I think that's part's hysterical because he can't move in that suit. That's why.
Right.
That's why they put the joke in there with Bale with the would sure make backing out of the driveway easier, like the whole moving your neck, like I feel like that's why they threw that in there, guy.
No, yeah. Even like but I think even what makes Zack just the great director he is, it's not so much that all these things that we're mentioning that are great about the movies are just him. It's the team he has, the people he brings on board to do these to do these films with him. Because obviously he has the costume team that came up with these costumes that were just brilliant when they put them together. The fact that he chooses the right composers.
His eye for talent across the board is
his eye for talent
is perfect. Yes.
Yeah. He only works with the best of the best. So.
Exactly. Yeah. His collaborations are on point.
Yeah. It's like even when I heard that Junkie XL was going to be doing all of Zack Snyder's Justice League, there was going to be no Hans Zimmer. Even I was like, I love Junkie, but like, is he going to be able to pull it off? And now I fucking listen to that.
That was a total another passing the torch. Like Nolan.
Now I listen to that Zack Snyder's Justice League soundtrack like every day. There's parts where I'll just be like, that was such like a fire track.
Amazing.
It's so good.
Dude, the part when the Batmobile spins backwards and he's doing like the oh my god, dude,
the fucking drums are going like it's crazy.
That part gets me so hyped, dude. Listening to that part, I'm like, I'm trying to emulate it myself now, like trying to make it. But
my favorite, man, is when the fucking lights go on and he shoots the parody man. He just darts out of the fucking the flying fox. The music starts ramping up. So good.
That's because it goes from like he keeps going back and forth from like the dun, 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 that part to like the like real fast like that, and dude, he spins he hits the fucking e-brake, spins it in reverse, and it's like
shooting the
fucking like things are coming down and shit.
Yeah, so good.
Oh my god,
just that whole.
Is that my?
Is that fire?
Is that in my house?
I don't know. Might be Belle.
Fire?
That's why she muted herself.
I can't tell if my headphones are on, if it's in my house or not. I don't know. There's no smoke or anything.
Right. He's like looking around. He's like,
well, I had the coconut incense burner, and I was making sure it didn't like fall and light something on fire or something.
Right.
Or like I go back to like the Heroes Park soundtrack, the fucking Monument Destroyer. That's a great soundtrack too. And Zack Snyder's Justice League. Especially the part when Flash and Superman fight, and that fucking the music there is so good.
Oh yeah, like where he's doing the slow motion dodges.
Do the little synthesizers, like it's great.
And even the Flash part at the end too, like that little like
that's
the Speed Force.
But I figured that was everybody's favorite. I mean, like that. I feel like that's just typical like this. Yeah, that's just one of the most.
That needs to be in this Flash movie now. You know what I mean? Like it's like he has to like lease the publishing out to whoever's doing that score or whatever.
And Superman score too.
His Superman, his Superman remix of when he comes back and the dun.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're just like, what? Oh man. First time I saw that, I stood up. I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
The music in that whole scene makes it so much better that like even the parts that are in Justice League makes them completely new because of that score. That's good, like that.
Oh yeah.
Like the beat drops as soon as the axe like slams onto Superman's shoulder, and then it just kicks in.
The Wonder Woman and Batman, like he's on his way to Batman. First he like flings Cyborg off and Aquaman, and then he like fucking pounds headbutts Wonder Woman. All the time he's looking at Batman on his way to Batman.
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
Heroes
I'm
Park.
gonna play out these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like,
She should unsheathe her sword, Wonder Woman. She was like, I could handle him. He's like, girl, you got to bring your A game when you're fighting this motherfucker. You can't just headbutt him. Like this motherfucker's in kill mode. You got to be in kill mode, girl. Like,
you got to go. Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact,
she's like, don't make me do this, and he's like laughing to himself, like, bitch.
And Junkie was the perfect, I think, person
to me it's easily
and he
his best
worked
soundtrack
under Hans.
And he is great soundtrack.
But then BVS they were partners. You know, he went from being like assistant level in Man of Steel, then he was like partners in BVS, and then he ended up doing Zack Snyder's Justice League himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I'd be curious to hear the original one he had made back in 2017.
Oh yeah,
because he remade it for this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'd be curious to see what the original plan was. Honestly, like,
I have a feeling some of the Alita soundtrack was in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, you know what? When I saw Alita, I thought that in my head. I was like, I feel like,
especially the Motorball soundtrack. I was like, that sounds like some fucking Flash music right there.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it definitely did. I know.
I remember seeing Mad Max Fury Road. That was my like his Junkie XL.
Dude, did you ever watch the? Have you ever watched his channel? Like he does.
Yes.
He has an episode for that where he shows how he did all the guitar riffs of the dude hanging on the truck.
Yeah.
And it's incredible the way
his Justice League ones too are fantastic too. When he breaks down all the character themes, they're really cool.
Dude. There's a BVS one too that's like 40 minutes long. That's like a special with him and Hans. I think it might be on the BVS special features too.
That's the thing. Before the pandemic, I would have loved to go see. And I think he did come here to Vegas.
And it was funny. Like I learned from him that he was the one who came up with the Wonder Woman motif, but it was Hans's idea who did the cello instead of like the rock guitars that he wanted to do. Yeah. And then he got to do it, and he's like, I want to make this like powerful as fuck, and he just like he makes it like just super heavy metal, like with that Wonder Woman theme in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, that's him playing that. You know, that's like him on the guitar, dude. And he does it all in like a studio the size of mine. That's what's crazy about it, dude. I mean, it's a little bigger than mine, but it's not like crazy. You know what I mean? Like he's got like a main computer, a couple extra screens, does everything on Cubase. You know, I mean, I use Reason, but still, it's like same level programs. You know what I mean? Like.
He seems like a cool dude too in real life. Like he just seems like a cool dude.
Honestly, if I ever get the chance to like meet Zach or anything like that, or even interview Zach for that matter, like my biggest thing would be like, yo, can you like hook me up with Junkie XL? Like that'd be the one thing I'd ask him. Like, you know, like maybe I'd get in on an assistant position with him or something.
Yeah.
Like that, you know?
I remember seeing him on the vodka stream with Dave, and he just seemed like the coolest fucking dude ever. He did.
Yeah, for real, dude. I know. I've already reached out to him. I've sent him messages, but you know, my channel's not big enough yet to draw his attention. I feel like, you know, I got to get my channel a little bigger first, and then plus I'm starting to beat, like I'm doing a production and mixing show too that I'm going to start called Reason Life, because like, you know, I use Reason, so I'm making Reason videos for Reason users. But I feel like once that's in my repertoire too, maybe it'll bring some attention too, because it's like not only am I a DC person, but I'm like a beat person, a production person too, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna put score videos out, like behind the score videos when I work on scores and shit like that too. So.
Oh, nice.
It's gonna be great.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I gotta go, guys.
Yeah, I know you gotta go to work. Thanks for coming on, though.
Thank you for having me in live.
Yeah,
bye, guys.
Bye, Belle.
See you later.
Adios.
Yeah. So, what about you, Austin? What's your Zack Snyder journey?
Oh man. Okay. So for me, I guess Watchmen came out in 2009. So I was probably like, I don't know, maybe around 11. Yeah, right. Yeah, I was probably around 11 or 12 years old. You know, I had very, very. I think you're muted, Ryan.
I was like 7 when Watchmen came out.
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
So you know, I had very religious, parents, and my mom was like, of course you can't watch that. But thankfully, I had a grandmother, and she took me to the video store, and she let me rent that. And I saw it, and as a kid, I was just like, you know, of course, I think around that time, I'd seen the Spider-Man movies, I'd seen the Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
I'd even seen, you know, like Daredevil, but I'd never seen anything like this. And I was like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever watched, like ever, you know. And, you know, as I grew older, I continued to rewatch that movie. Like, I still watch that movie probably like once or twice a year. That's probably my all-time favorite comic book movie. I think it's just so complex and depth, especially the full 4-hour cut with like the the animation, motion
Black
graphic.
Freighter and all that.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah,
It's
Gerard Butler and those guys.
And it's literally like, even though the ending's different, it's literally like it's still the book brought to
yes.
Like, it's like an alternate ending to the book or something. It makes, it's like
exactly.
crazy.
And so that was where it started for me. And then obviously it was Man of Steel. Next, I remember getting into like, because Man of Steel came out end of my freshman year, and it was like I'd argue with all my friends because everybody saw the movie and they were like, "Yeah, I didn't like it." I was like, "You're all crazy. That was the best Superman movie I've ever seen in my life." And even back then, I remember like the opening 20 minutes to that movie and what he does with Krypton, and I was like,
"Oh, yeah,
perfection."
To this day, I argue that's probably one of the best opening 20 minutes of any film I've ever seen. Ever.
Even in the Christopher Reeve one, I love that. And then for him to like make it new again and do it that great.
It's a very familiar story. Exactly, right? And he, just adds so. After that, I was like, dude, I could watch the whole movie on Krypton. I would be totally fine with the whole Zack Snyder Krypton.
100%. 100%.
And so, yeah, that, and then also growing up, I was never big into Superman in the comics just because of like, he never really caught my interest, just because it was until like Injustice came along and like some of the darker stuff. And I was never like the big Boy Scout fan. And when I saw Man of Steel, I was like, I liked, of course it was still big and a lot of fantasy elements and stuff, but there was that reality, right, of especially that moment when he kills Zod. For me, it's like the most human thing. You realize, look, he's not just an alien; he's a human, and he doesn't want to do that. And what's up, Enosh?
What up, Enosh?
Enosh.
So that was another one.
Let me know if you want the link. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. That was another one for me that it was like that was like, all right, Zack Snyder's one of the best. And also too, there's something about all of his superhero movies that kind of like, and he probably takes a little right from Christopher Nolan, but the complexity of his movies. There is a complexity, a deepness to his movies that are unlike any of the other superhero movies that are made. And so now when it came to Batman versus Superman, the theatrical cut I did not like. I walked out and I was very disappointed. Because for me, and it had nothing to do with the Martha. I was cool with the Martha thing. I thought everybody arguing about that was stupid as well. For me, the biggest thing was it felt like it was, taking from all these different great graphic novels, The Death of Superman, The Dark Knight Returns, elements of The Long Halloween, all these great comics, Injustice. I mean, and for me at seeing that theatrical cut, it just felt rushed. It felt very rushed, and
I get that. I see
by
that.
the end,
I could see that.
When Doomsday came and killed Superman, I was like, already, like it was. But then obviously the Ultimate Edition, and I argue the Ultimate Edition is a night and day like movie from the theatrical experience to me. It really is. I don't care what anybody says.
Especially for someone that doesn't know anything, going in, I feel like, real disservice to the
I haven't gone back to the theatrical cut whatsoever.
Nah, me neither.
I haven't watched it in 4 years.
Since I saw it in theaters was the last time I saw the theatrical cut. And it just the Ultimate Edition just does exactly what you wanted the theatrical cut to do, which is just fill in
version. Those
little gaps, those little holes, So after that I was like, okay, of course. And then Justice League. Now Justice League, I've been following like movies pretty hardcore since I was a kid and stuff, and so I'd been following. He had been he'd stepped away mid through and all that. And when I saw the movie, I was like, this is not a Zack Snyder movie. Like, he had no hand in this whatsoever. This was completely like, this is just not. And none of his other movies built to anything like this happening. Like, it was such a letdown.
It was really like a what the fuck when you walk out of the movie theater. Like, what just happened? Like,
exactly. And so for me, it was pretty soon after, I think, that I heard, the rumblings of the Snyder Cut. I think when I really like locked in was when I heard Kevin Smith on his podcast was like, no, dude, I've talked with Zack and all this, and like this was before Zack had confirmed it and all that. He was like,
well, he supposedly saw one of those early screeners before they chopped it up, right? Isn't that the deal?
Supposedly,
something like that. I don't know how but he was like, it exists, and then everybody was like, okay, yeah, it's, or other like hardcore, nerds that were just
yeah.
So I was like, after that, I started, obviously campaigning for it. I remember like seeing all the all the flyers and stuff when like watching Comic-Con and stuff online. And I mean, it was great. It was incredible. And obviously I started kind of actually with Enosh watching Poindexter Lounge. And that was kind of the main one that I got into, and then kind of saw, I saw Dave on Twitter. I was very active on Twitter. I know you guys weren't Twitter people, but I was pretty active on Twitter in high school, and so I would see all that, and I would interact with all that stuff, and so that was it for me. I just but it all started with Watchmen, I think, for sure, and now I just think everything the dude does is, it's kind of on another level. Even I know, and I don't think it's hard to argue that the theatrical cut of Sucker Punch is good, but even then I think you can tell like what he was going for. Honestly, I think went over a lot of people's heads, and I don't think like if he would have released
it definitely did, yeah.
Yeah, and he says there's a cut of that movie too. So like honestly, I would really love to see.
There's already an extended cut, but there's a Snyder.
There's
cut.
the definitive version of it.
Mm-hmm. That hasn't come out yet.
Because he said that movie was like really commercialized by WB, which
it's funny because like you were saying with Justice League 2017, like I'm almost positive, I'd have to like really look back and find the receipts, but I'm almost positive that as soon as I came home from the movies that Thursday night, like me and my son went to see it the night before actual open, like the early premiere that Thursday, and I'm pretty sure like as soon as I came home that night, it might not have been released the Snyder Cut, but I was bitching about it already online, like right then and there. And I'm pretty sure by the very next day, Chris Wong started talking about the change.org petition or whatever that was going on in the beginning. And like, I'm pretty sure I was on that wagon, like jump from the beginning. Cause I was already like, what bitch? I was already like, I mean, I haven't found the community that much yet, but I was going on my Facebook and Instagram and doing rants about BVS and the Ultimate Cut and the difference between them for a while before the Justice League fiasco even happened. It was like I was already ready for war when I saw Justice League. Like I was like, locked and loaded. Let's go. Like this is these motherfuckers. What did they do? Like I mean, me and my son. My son was probably like 14 at the time, and like we walked out that movie theater and like just like he like looked at each other like, what the fuck just happened? Like what the what was that? Like, you know what I mean? Like
the amazing part I think then for me was how people actually liked it, but like a lot of them for sure were Marvel, fans, and I'm like, it doesn't surprise me because you like Marvel and that was close to a Marvel film, so but that I kept arguing with these guys, but that's not it. That's not it. And they're like, no, it's better than everything else that's come out before it. I'm like,
it's Dave DC, right?
Right. Oh boy, right. But but likewise, I remember on Facebook when BS came out, and I'm like, fuck what the critics are saying. Go watch the movie for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Go watch the movie for yourself because they're lying to you. Go watch the movie for yourself. And
I also feel like a lot of it was like, and I feel like the same thing's happening with the Suicide Squad right now. A lot of people went to see it in the movies and had that veil of like, you went out to the movies and had a fun time type of thing. But then it aged really badly, and people, people realized like this is the shit movie over time. Right, and I feel like the same thing's going to happen with people with Suicide Squad. Like it's not going to get rewatched. You know what I mean? Not saying the Suicide Squad. I mean, to me, the Suicide Squad's really bad like that. I mean, it's not as bad as Justice League, but it's close. In my opinion,
I don't. As much as I don't like Suicide Squad, I think I would never. I'd rather watch that over Justice League again.
Yeah, me too.
I think I could agree with that for sure.
But I'm saying I feel like it's gonna have a similar like with rewatchability.
It will. I mean, look, I'll be honest. Look, like that's my thing when it comes to like Marvel films. Like I'll go watch them, right? But like the rewatch value isn't there for me. Not at least not all of them. There's like, or not the majority of them.
There's a handful.
Yeah,
there's
a few. There's a
Doctor Strange is great for me. Love Doctor
yeah, there's a handful
Winter
I'll rewatch. Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah,
there's a handful.
Like,
yeah, but like other than that, they're not rewatchable. And I feel like Justice League, or Justice League is for sure not rewatchable. I mean, and again, I'm about to say some films. I mean, and look, sorry if that was your cup of tea, just wasn't mine. But like, I watched Birds of Prey once, never watched it again. Wonder Woman 84, watched it once, never watched it again. Suicide Squad, or The Suicide Squad, watched it once, and I'll never watch it again. It doesn't really, those movies don't have rewatch value for me. They don't, they just don't.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 84 was a big letdown. That was like,
oh yeah, I watched that movie Christmas morning with my family. They all fell asleep after the first hour. I was like an idiot. I was like, shit, this movie really is that fucking bad then. Like that was disappointing.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. My kids were coming over. I'm like, we'll watch Wonder Woman.
Which was the worst? Wonder Woman 84. I think that was the worst one out of all the ones I just mentioned, to be honest. I think Wonder Woman, it would be Justice League, Justice League, and Wonder Woman 84 right there. And between Birds of Prey and the Suicide Squad, on any given Sunday, it'll probably just,
See, I at least give Birds of Prey the defense that the whole movie's like through Harley's eyes. So I forgive a lot of it because, like, you know what I mean? Like, this movie's through James Gunn's eyes. Like,
yeah. I mean, and I say that because, like, in the end of the day, like, those movies entertained me enough in the first watch. I laughed at a lot of stuff. Cinematography wise, there's a lot of great, there's good enough shots that, like, I'm like, oh snap, it's crazy. Okay, cool, whatever,
Yeah, it wasn't like Wonder Woman rolling around with the mannequins on the road.
No, right. Like, instead of that, yeah. At least it wasn't that, or I don't know, these fake clouds that she's, passing by. Oh my God.
Baycatcher, yeah.
Yeah. it was over the top, but yeah, again, like, the Birds of Prey was entertaining when I went to see it. But I can never watch it. And I'm saying this because I actually tried to watch it again. I'm like, you know what? Let me see if I could rewatch.
Same here. I went in with an open mind. Yeah.
With an open mind. And when the second it started playing, right in the beginning, and she's talking about, see this is me. I'm like, nope. I can't do it. I just can't take it serious. Like,
that was the last movie. That was the last movie I saw before like the whole fucking shutdown happened. And then I was like starving for more movies. And then I went to go see Tenet in theaters. And I was like, oh man, Back to the Theaters can be amazing. And I was like, God damn, trash. Nope. And then I had to wait till Army of the Dead to come out to finally enjoy a movie theater.
Tenet wasn't horrible, but for
it wasn't
a movie, it
wasn't trash, but for me, it's at the bottom of Christopher Nolan's film.
It was a rough watch for me.
I wouldn't know if that's at the bottom of the list for me, but it wasn't the best for sure. But like that one, I actually did watch more than once just because I was confused as hell. And I'm like, I really need to get this.
So that's typical with every Chris Nolan movie, right? You usually watch it like once or twice, or you're just confused. But this one, it just felt like, okay, we get it, motherfucker. You're smart. This is too much. Like,
it was, you know what though? No, but
the roof
my thing is I feel like it doesn't add up. Like he didn't think it through enough how like the end, you know what I mean? Like because it's like it doesn't make sense, kind of like how is he there? But you know what I mean? And the whole reverse thing.
Look, I'll be honest.
It's like he overstepped his own intelligence or something. You know what I mean?
I honestly think his ego went too high, and he was like,
it did, and not so much because it didn't make sense, but more so because, like, bro, like, you gotta understand, you're like on a whole nother level than most people, you know, and you're doing too much.
Exactly. But I said
it forced me to watch the movie 4 times. I'll admit. And look, I finally got it. But, like, that's me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to watch it 4 times. The average moviegoer is not gonna do that, you know what I'm saying?
You know what movie did that to me? Shutter Island. I watched over and over because I'm like, wait, well, is he fucking crazy or is he really the cop? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, it took me.
I'll tell you what, Tenet for the first time made me take my phone out in a movie theater and start going through it because I got that fucking bored. I'm sorry, I did.
I mean, look, you know, his ego was through the roof when he literally puts in the script that it's like, doesn't the doctor say, like, don't even try to understand it? I was like, really? We're there now. Okay.
Thanks for thinking of us as peasants, Christopher Nolan. Thank you.
It's like, geez, man. And, like, you read the interviews, like, Robert Pattinson was like, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck was going on during that movie. I was just doing things.
That doesn't surprise me.
Man, you know, but I Tenet is very split down the middle. That for sure, and that's very rare to hear from a Christopher Nolan movie. So that says a lot. But I'll say I'm on the side that actually enjoyed the film for sure. That I will say. I did enjoy that film. It's not the best of his films, but I did enjoy it, and I rewatched it for sure.
Yeah, I definitely won't be rewatching it like Inception. Like, I rewatch
Inception is just
all the time.
The other rewatchable one too that was like it's not very high concept, but just once you find out the end, it's the Book of Eli for me. Because you find out that he's blind, right?
Wait, Chris Nolan did that?
No. Chris Nolan. My bad.
Now we're just going all over the place.
Now I'm just going all over the place. I know, because I was like, but it's that kind of thing that it was like, oh, what? I went back and rewatched it again. You watched that whole movie again with the idea that oh, he's blind. Like, you know, it's just a whole.
Yeah, that does have that. That is a rewatch. I've rewatched that one lots of times. Like, yeah. You know which one too? I don't know about you guys if it was the same for you. Edge of Tomorrow. I actually rewatched that one like 2 or 3 times in theater.
So the first time I saw it, I didn't like it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was kind of forgettable for me. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I just felt like it was like because there was a lot of movies at that time doing that kind of plot, and you know what I mean? Like,
the stuck in a time loop type.
Yeah, thing. Like it was like, I don't know.
I think they nailed it though. I thought they nailed it.
I rewatched it this year. I bought it on 4K and rewatched it, and I was like, oh, this is really good. This is really good.
No, yeah, it is good. I just was like, I don't know. I just kind of like felt like I knew what to expect, I guess, or whatever. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, that one scene, I just couldn't. It was too funny for me. The where he keeps waking up at that same moment every time, and the guy coming, what's up, man? Like over and over again. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on?
I like at the point where she just starts killing him after he fucks up, and she's like, all right, see you tomorrow.
That too, right? Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You know what? I can't wait for it. It keeps getting fucking pushed back and fucking like it was supposed to come out in the movies last summer, and it still hasn't. It's not now. It's pushed back to October. Is the fucking Many Saints in Newark, the fucking Sopranos.
Yeah, the Sopranos. Man.
Dude, I can't fucking wait for that. Like, dude,
Sopranos is my shit, dude.
Playing
Tony's dad.
That's gonna be hardcore.
Yeah, and Ray Liotta's like the head of the family, the old guy, the head of the family.
Man.
Like, it's gonna be good, dude. Like,
and
that's actually the dude playing young Tony is James Gandolfini's real life son. Like, he looks like him. It's crazy, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like watching that's gonna be hardcore.
Shit, the trailer came out like last week. Did you see it?
I mean, the trailer looks
awesome.
Yeah, I made a reaction to it.
Oh, did you really? I didn't see it. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you're like the Italian Jersey guy.
I think I retweeted it.
Half Italian Jersey guy, but I embrace it more.
I think I retweeted and I saw like Ryan was like, "Wait a minute, this trailer came out? How the did I miss that?"
Dude, that's how I found out about it too. Because like I'm always Google searching it, like what the fuck's going on with this movie? Because it's like the release date changes every week, and fucking like all of a sudden one day I see like trailer at the top of the Google search, and like I find out I missed it by like 4 days. I'm like, what is HBO Max doing?
They're gonna
like,
put
you
it.
know
They're gonna put it
I haven't seen this. You know, what I
a
mean?
new trailer will probably be out pretty soon because they showed a new trailer at CinemaCon last week, so they're starting to promote it.
Yeah. Well, because it's going to be theatrical too. Like it's actually a theatrical run. Like it's not just HBO Max. Like I think it is going to be the dual though, because it's been advertised with the HBO Max thing. So,
dude, that's another thing, right? Warner Brothers just shot themselves in the foot with that because how do you have like a movie?
I mean,
like Dune?
as much as we loved him at the time, it was Jason Kilar's call, I believe, right? Like,
still, man. I mean, again, I'm like, there should have been some movies that was just like, no, we can't do that. Like Dune, you can't.
They didn't even need to do it. They could have just had the Snyder cut, and they would have been good. You know, what I mean?
Dune is actually one of the ones I'm anticipating. I ain't gonna
dude, yeah.
I'm
excited.
Dune.
I can't wait for Dune.
Super excited for that movie because I feel like within that realm, within that genre, there's a void there because I mean I don't know unless you guys feel otherwise, but I feel like Star Wars hasn't been hitting it, you know. More so because of Disney.
I would say theatrically, you're right. Theatrically, Star Wars.
It definitely is poised to fill that void. Yes.
I do enjoy like the Mandalorian and Bad Batch.
Mandalorian was dope as hell. Bad Batch, I'm like 75% enjoying it. I do have my gripes with it, but I did enjoy it more than dislike it.
I stopped in the middle of the season because.
But Bad Batch was actually good, and I felt bad because I know a lot of people. Wait, you don't like what?
I said I stopped in the middle of the season because the little girl was annoying me.
She was one of my gripes. She is one of my gripes.
It just makes it too kiddie, you know. Like
but when I start something, I have to finish it. So
yeah, I mean, I will eventually.
I'm the same way. So I started that show, Dave, on FX. I don't know if you.
I love Dave, dude.
Oh, Dave! I started watching it.
Like
he's a Philly boy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a rich Philly boy. He's like from the rich neighborhood.
I don't know, dude. It started right, but it's like I don't know. For me, it's like his character does not grow. And every other character in that show grows, and I get like that's kind of the point, right? Yeah. But I don't know.
It's supposed to be based on like his actual story. You know what I mean? Like when he went out there.
I would hope not. I would hope not his ego. but yeah. I mean that's the one thing for me about that show that was like just to give you some perspective on Little Dicky as a person, like he like when you're from here, like in Philly, right? There's like southwest, southwest, northeast, north. Like there's only one little pocket of like a Jewish neighborhood. Except Center City has a lot of Jewish people. Not to be like racial about it or anything.
No, but
they're like rich. They have money. You know what I mean? Like in this area, like, and he's like from that pocket. You know what I mean? And like his parents were probably like downtown building rich people. You know what I mean? Like I mean, don't get me wrong, the dude can spit his ass off, but I'm just saying, like,
dude, he's not.
You know what I mean? Like he already had some. I feel like some opportunities were more easily handed to him than maybe somebody from the hood or something. You know what I mean? I feel like he probably had some family connections and things like that helped him out along the way. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, absolutely.
Not to be stereotypical and racial about it.
No. Yeah,
I'm speaking from home turf, you know.
Right. You can do it because he's from your area.
Because he's from my area. You know what I mean? Like it's like.
Right. I don't know. There's something about the.
And I'm an MC too, so it's like, you know.
What I missed.
There's some episodes about that.
And I was just trashing Little Dicky.
I was just Dicky. We went from the complexity of the Snyder Cut to Little Dicky. I love it.
Oh, Ryan still has to go, right? Ryan still goes.
I think so.
Oh yeah, right.
I've spoken a lot about this. The only person who really knows is Bell, but like before, like I even got into like my pursuit into like filmmaking and passion stuff like that. It was BVS. That was the first movie that I saw in theaters from Zack that like changed my life forever. I remember it was I think it was my freshman year of high school. I saw BVS, and it was my friend who's like a fucking huge Batman fan who took me to see it. And I sat down, I watched it. I was like, oh, it's a Batman Superman film, you know, comics, whatever. Like I wasn't really like in depth to it. Like I knew the Keaton films and like, you know, Reeves and all that. But after I saw it, like I couldn't like describe like how I felt about the movie because I was just so in awe of everything. And then like, I'm not gonna lie, when I went home and I was like listening to like all these people trash on it, it was like a sponge for me. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't like this movie so much. But like, as I got older and obviously smarter, I started to, I watched the Ultimate Edition, and I started to appreciate it a lot more. And I started to go back, watch all of Zack's filmography, and like now, like I'm like unapologetically like a Zack Snyder fanboy. Like he's like my number one like person who inspired me. He's the reason I got into like my pursuit in filmmaking, and I'm going to school for it now. And then I started my channel back like 2 years ago. That's when I got my Twitter. I started to get more involved in like the Snyderverse community. I mean, I was always involved. Like I signed the petition like twice, and you know when it first came out, and
emails.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I kept learning about it, and then like I was super excited for when Zack Snyder's Justice League got announced, and I was hyped as hell like for like the next year to watch it. And yeah, that's my quick summary. Pretty much.
That's awesome. Though, like for like for somebody young like that to come into like you were the general public in the first place. In other words, you know what I mean? Yeah, and like now you like want to be a filmmaker because of it. Like
what I like about his story though too is that it's like, isn't that how it's supposed to be? Like, you know, I can imagine someone who's like maybe an older head being like, oh no, Spielberg should be someone that inspires you, whatever. But it's like that was for your like, you know, when you talk to your Zack Snyder, when you talk to your Nolan, you know, Spielberg is their inspiration. And it's not to say that he shouldn't be your inspiration, but I'm just saying like it makes sense. But like then to hear like Ryan right now that he's he's a younger filmmaker, his inspiration is someone like Zack Snyder, you know, someone of his generation. You know what I mean? That's how it should be, right? You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I have a hot take on Spielberg. I don't know if you guys.
Oh man,
you're really not, man. I swear.
I heard Austin already.
Right, because he's like,
I swear I'm right.
My girlfriend's black.
Right.
Literally, like I'm not
gonna pull the Jeff Johns.
She really is.
Right.
No, she really is. Like,
no, I know.
She's Jamaican, actually.
No, I think Steven Spielberg should have quit making movies 20 years ago, 22 years ago, however, 21 years ago.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
I think that dude ruined his career with the 2000s. Come on, dude. The dude that made
Spielberg?
the dude that made Jaws, Saving Private Ryan gave you Lincoln. Come on.
Jaws and Saving Private Ryan. What about Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Yeah,
like
Indiana Jones.
He also worked on the Back to the Futures with Zemeckis and stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean,
those movies, right? That's what I'm saying, right?
Got a pretty impeccable record, dude. Like,
until the 2000s.
Which one don't you like? Which one do you feel is the best of Spielberg? Which one? Which film?
Spielberg's best film?
Ooh, if I had to pick a favorite,
No.
hard
I'm asking Austin which.
Austin, yeah. So yeah.
I'm asking him what movie.
Well, he said Jaws and
No.
What were the movies that made you not like Spielberg?
Made
his career diminish for you?
Yeah.
Minority Report was the start.
Really? I fucking like Minority Report, man.
AI's great too. Like, I mean,
I thought it was fire,
Minority
dude.
Report was yes, that was fire. Okay, what else?
Minority Report was
what else? What else has he done? That's the thing. I can't even name movies he's done.
Robot.
Catch Me If You Can.
That one's great. Yeah.
I'll give you Catch Me If You Can is good. Catch Me If You Can is good.
Catch Me If You
War
Can.
of the Worlds.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Super.
That was terrible.
War of the Worlds.
I'll give you this. The first act of War of the World is like a fucking masterpiece. The rest of the movie like diminishes as it goes on.
The old one better, honestly.
I like the BBC one that came out more recently.
It's more accurate too to the novel.
Exactly. I mean, but that's kind of my point, right? Like, besides those, you can't. And he's made a lot of movies in the 2000s and 2010s. You can't. That's what I'm saying. Like the 70s, 80s, 90s. He was like the pioneer of. No, that was Joseph.
Which one?
Oblivion.
The dude that did Legacy, Tron Legacy, did that one.
I love Oblivion. That's like what, dude.
I like Oblivion.
M83 does that whole score too. Like
exactly, yeah.
It's like an album of theirs. The score is in the movie, basically.
Oh yeah.
I think was Super 8 was the best Spielberg movie, and Spielberg didn't direct that movie of the 2000s.
What's up, Koj?
Koj in the building.
What up? But yeah, no, I just think he hasn't done anything memorable to me in the 2010s like he did. He pioneered filmmaking, and then he just does the Post and Lincoln and whatever else.
I can understand that
you
perspective.
Didn't like Lincoln? You didn't like Lincoln? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, no. When I went into Lincoln, I was expecting, like I said, this is the guy that gave me like one of the best war movies of all time. They've never done like a legit Civil War movie. I'm going into Lincoln thinking I'm going to see that, and I got old guys arguing for 2.5 hours. I straight up like laid out on the seats. My mom was
Glory's
there.
my favorite Civil War.
Glory's phenomenal. Yeah.
Glory's like really, yeah. It's like young Denzel too.
Yeah,
Right.
And Morgan Freeman, and yeah,
a lot.
There's
a lot
even
of
Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick is severely underrated. For
I can understand
so
your
I'm
perspective.
Assume you're not going to watch West Side Story then.
I'm not excited.
What, the reboot West Side Story?
Because I'm gonna watch. Yeah, they are. I'm actually gonna watch it. It looked interesting.
Person.
The trailer, the teaser they put out was actually. I was like, oh wait, okay.
I'll pass.
I'm a theater person.
My high school.
I'm gonna watch it, but
my high school was West Philly Catholic, and every year that would be like our school play. And they'd like change the story and make it like a black girl and a white boy falling in love or something like that. Because it was like 50-50 black white, but it was like a very small. I'm 25% Puerto Rican, and I was like Puerto Ricans were like a minority, like in that neighborhood, like north. They were all in North Philly, really. Like down my way, it was like black, Italian, Irish. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Yeah. I agree a little bit with like Austin's perspective. Like I get it. Like Spielberg probably hasn't made like the super most iconic movies in the 2000s. Like his prime was like the 70s, 80s to like the mid to late 90s. I would agree with that.
Even Schindler's List.
I mean,
that was a phenomenal movie. You know,
I can't argue that. I can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean, he's made.
I wouldn't go as far as to say as anything new he did isn't good, but like I will agree that his better, I guess, highlight of his career for sure is what we got earlier. But like I think of Bridge of Spies was good. What else? The Post was good.
The one I liked most recently was Ready Player One. I liked Ready Player One.
Ready Player
One, dude, fire! I can't wait for Ready Player Two. Like, I wish they would hurry up and fucking make it already. Like,
that was good. But it's kind of like, you look at somebody like Quentin Tarantino, right? Who recently is like, I'm quitting after 10 movies, and you look at his filmography, he has 10 perfect movies. Like in my opinion, like, and then most people, I think most people would agree, like that dude has not had a flop or a bad movie. And so it's kind of like I feel like kind of Spielberg, he overstayed his welcome a little bit. Not to say he's a good producer. He's a great producer.
Yeah. Like before Zach totally like took over my reins as a person, I was like, Spielberg should be the guy to look up to. And then I saw Zach and I was like, move over, old man. This is the fucking new king right here for me. That's the king right there.
I've always loved Scorsese. Scorsese.
Oh yeah, Scorsese.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, good
on that guy's name.
Goodfellas, Departed, Casino.
I'll tell you, a gangster movie that I'm not even sure who directs it, but American Gangster is like deserves.
That
to
was
be
Ridley Scott.
Incredible.
Ridley Scott.
Oh, is that Ridley Scott? American Gangster.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Movie's incredible, dude. Like,
I just got the digital 4K extended edition of that. Actually, I love that.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's nice.
So good. It's so good.
I just bought my third version of the Transformers animated movie. It's
Oh,
like
man.
every 10 years they come out with a better like a better like redone
remaster.
version.
Yeah,
and I'll always buy the digital version. Like, I got to see how much better that looks, and then I'll compare them and shit. Like,
right.
It's the best animated movie ever made. It really is. Like,
Transformers, dude, it's a phenomenal movie.
Dude, I saw that in the movies. Like, as a kid, like I saw it.
Dude, I was like, I would have loved to see.
My dad
like,
surprised me and took me, and like I was just fucking like, what? Like I was blown away, dude. Like I was like, holy shit! Like
I would have loved to see like that, or like Batman: Mask of the Phantasm in theaters.
I saw that in the movies too. Yeah.
That would be dope.
I think I was born that year when that came out as well.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I'll tell you what, honestly, at the time when Mask of the Phantasm came out, like for me, as someone that was like watching the series and everything, I kind of was like a little let down by it at the time. Like I almost wish they would have just stuck with a Joker story and not threw the Phantasm thing in, you know? Like I was I wish it would have been more grounded in the core characters than making up that new story, you know what I mean? Because that was like a theatrical release based out of the show's universe.
Out of the show,
you know what I mean? Like, but it was theatrical, you know, like. But it was a big deal at the time because it was like a theatrical animated movie and everything, you know, like. It was kind of like what just happened with Spider-Man with the Spider-Verse almost, but like back in those days, you know, it was like something.
Love Spider-Verse.
Animated comic book world going to the silver screen level, you know, like.
I feel like we need more animated movies like that Spider-Verse movie. I fucking love that movie so much. Yeah, I remember I went to go see it. I went to go see it with my mom. I wanted her to take me, and she was like, "Is this like a kid movie?" I was like, "Can we just fucking go see it? Like, I'll judge it for yourself." And then she was like, "Oh man, I really enjoyed
Your
that."
mom was like, "All right, geez, get in the
car." And you know what? That movie was a ray of hope.
She enjoyed it,
for all the people that don't like Tom Holland too. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, cool. At least we got something Spider-Man. You know?
Right? Yes, you're so right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In the theater, she'd be like, "Oh my god, that's like the chubby one. That's like Toby with the gray sweatpants." I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like what it's paralleling a little bit.
Yeah,
so that was fun.
It was fun. It was definitely fun.
I definitely agree. More animated movies like that. More animated stuff like Invincible for me, dude. Invincible is so good.
I still haven't seen Invincible.
Oh man, if they did anything like Invincible and theatrical,
Wait, we're talking about the show, right? We're talking about the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought there are, you got the Pixar Invincibles, right?
Oh, okay, right. The Incredibles, right.
Incredibles, only right. It's called Incredibles, right? Okay. Sorry, too many truly. Truly too many truly.
Right? You know, a Spider-Man storyline I'd love to see adapted that, like, I know won't happen on the Disney side. It would have to be on the Sony side. Would be fucking Superior. Like, could you imagine, like, especially with Garfield, like Garfield, Doc Ock, the fight, fucking Doc Ock dies, takes his body over and becomes Superior, and Andrew Garfield has to play Doc Ock Superior, you know what I mean? Doc Ock's personality inside him, dude. Dude, because that whole run in the comics was incredible. That was such a good period in Spider-Man comics, dude. The Superior storyline, like the way that Doc Ock took over his body. And then in the moment that he dies, like realizes like, oh shit, like I have to be good. You know what I mean? Like he gets all Peter's emotion and life and Uncle Ben and all that like comes into his mind. You know what I mean? And he's like, basically like, what the fuck have I been doing? But then he's like, but I can take all my like evil knowledge and make Spider-Man be even better with my technology and shit, you know, and then it's like tearing shit up and fucking criminals up and shit. Like,
right.
Yeah, that would be sick to watch.
But that would be great in live action, dude. Yeah, like especially no matter who was playing Spider-Man. Well, I couldn't see Tom Holland.
No, Tom Holland.
Yeah, I'm like,
but even a new actor down the line, you know.
Dude, I think Garfield.
They did that in the animated series, though, right?
Garfield would be perfect, right? Yeah. Or even an animated version. Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. They interpreted it in the animated series, no? Didn't they? That storyline? I feel like I remember watching that in the animated
in the newer ones? In the newer, like, Marvels, like, the ones based on Tom Holland?
I haven't watched any.
No. I'm talking about, like, the classic ones. I'm talking about, like...
No, because the storylines only existed since, like, 2012. I think.
Maybe it is the newer ones. I like you're saying what you're saying, and I'm like... I feel like I've seen that in one of the animated series.
It actually turned into its own comic for what, like 32 issues?
Yeah, the Superior.
Like Spider-Man stopped and Superior took over for Superior Spider-Man. I have like every.
Unless it could be that I also came across the comics, and maybe that's what's in my mind right now. But for some reason in my mind, I'm remembering it as an animated.
You haven't watched Invincible, Ryan?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, dude, you fucking love it, dude. You gotta watch
it. What are you waiting for?
You'll fucking love it, dude. Like,
I mean, I've seen like little bits and pieces like online, but I do gotta watch the whole show.
Yeah, you got to get yourself invested in the storyline too.
Yeah. Like I remember I was on YouTube and I saw the clip of what's his face, Omni-Man, when he kills the team.
See, that kind of sucks that you already know that.
Yeah. When I saw that,
you know
I was just throwing. I was like, you know what, this look,
because it's a very like Darth Vader, Luke, like almost kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I was just watching. I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking brutal. Like, shit.
Yeah, but if you watch the first episode and then you see that, and you're like.
Like you don't know.
You
know, like it's like you think he's Superman, like you know what I mean?
All I saw was just the brutality, and I was like, "Whoa, that's fucking metal, dude!" Like shit.
Yeah.
Like, especially when
what he does to that poor fish, dude, is just to everybody.
He fucking clocks his head off.
that show,
or even how he rips apart the
Martian.
I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. The worst though was when he fucking snapped War Woman, whatever the fuck her name, her neck, and then she coughs the blood up. I was like, damn.
yeah. I'm like, oh,
that's crazy, dude.
I like that better than the boys. Honestly, I think
they're about equal for me, but I think I like Invincible a little bit more, just because I love that like you said, that father-son dynamic in that.
Dude, the show really, it's like once you're past those first like 3 episodes, the show becomes a non-stop roller coaster. It really does. Like it's fucking non-stop from like episode 3.
I feel like it benefits more because it's an animated, so there's just a lot more they could do with it. And I think that's what you really lack in the boys. But I love the boys too, for sure. I enjoy watching the boys. It's just funny as hell. It gets crazy. But Invincible for sure has more shock value, more, just like, whoa. But I feel like that's because it's animated, like it can go there.
They're definitely able to do a bit more because it's animated. Anything like this in live action, like what they do in Invincible, would be like NC-17 type.
Oh yeah,
right.
I just think I like the story better of Invincible though too. That's
I like the boys. I'm not like super over the moon about it, but I do like the show a lot. I do.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I really do.
Like I binged all 8 episodes in a day.
Yeah, it's good.
I love the little shot at Whedon too at the beginning of season 2.
Yeah. See these new rewrites, Jospro for whatever the fuck.
It just goes to show you how big the pop culture was with fucking Zack Snyder's Justice League at the time. You know what I mean?
Like,
Definitely.
Fucking A, there you go. Boston, Amazing Spider-Man. The fucking man right there, dude. I'm telling you.
I know I got shit on Twitter for it. They were like, "What's your hot take about Spider-Man?" I was like, "The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is great. It's a great movie."
Yeah,
I rewatched it this morning.
If you just take out the hokey fucking before he becomes Electro shit, there's a great movie there. I feel like maybe put some other stuff in that's probably cut out. I mean, there is a one cut supposedly, right?
Put Shailene Woodley back in there. Yeah.
Yep.
I think she would have fucking killed it as Mary Jane. Shailene Woodley. I think she would have done a really good job.
I mean, it has the greatest swinging scenes of any Spider-Man.
Speaking of M83, I actually like those Divergent movies that M83 did some score for.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it, dude. I like those movies.
The score was good, actually. Yeah.
I think the reason I liked. Oh yeah, wasn't that Junkie XL too?
No, it
was Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer was on the.
No, it's like another person like Junkie, like with a similar name, like it's like a DJ person that crossed over into scoring.
Wasn't there that?
But it's not Junkie or Hans. I forget who it is, but
I feel like because
we talked about this on another stream, and I looked it up.
Yeah, I would agree with Kojay. Said Electro was a bit too. Batman and Robin hokey. I would agree with that.
That was my main too.
100.
I mean, not once he became Electro so much, but like the whole I'm just Spider-Man, my favorite person, and now I'm gonna drop all my fans all over the street, like all that stupid shit.
He was
that was kind of iffy. But when you get people had issues with the blue Electro, and that was like. I remember reading.
The comics he was blue at the time.
I remember reading those comics. I was gonna say, have you guys ever seen this?
The MTV John, right?
Dude, that's what that's what that Electro reminded me of. The Electro from that show, and that Electro was sick.
When he first comes out the chamber, like with the dun, dun, you know, that's like exactly what he looks like in the comics at the time when the movie came out. You know, like.
But then he says, like, "It's my birthday, Spider-Man. I'm gonna blow my candle," some stupid shit like that. Like, then you fucking kill the moment.
You know what part I love, like, absolutely love in that movie? That, like, I think it, like, he makes Harry Osborn very badass in the scene is when he does like the clear and fucking like makes Electro zap him, you know, like after he fucking kills the office dude, you know, and like Harry Osborn's like clear like that, like all sinister, and like Electro like zaps his heart back to life, you know. Like I mean, love that part.
To me, Electro, he felt like the Ed Nigma 2.0 from like Batman Forever. Like he's the loser who looks up to like the hero, and then he feels betrayed, shit like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
But easily the stupidest.
Just the teeth and everything.
Yes,
was
that
like,
was the stupidest moment in the movie
like...
when the teeth get straightened as he's getting electrocuted by the fucking eels. Stupidest shit.
Oh man,
stupid as shit. I swear.
The dentist eel.
Truly.
Yeah.
And I will say too, like I'm not a fan of Dane, whatever his name's, Osborn. I mean, I like what they were doing with the character. I just don't like the actor.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't like his look. He had like the fucking face herpes look. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was weird.
I didn't like the aesthetic. I didn't like the aesthetic, but I think that guy's an actor. I've seen him do good stuff elsewhere, but not for that character.
I figured maybe it was meant to be an evolution, that like he was going to get more like into the next movie, maybe like it was going to get more goblin looking or something, and he was in a transition period because he just injected himself with the shit.
Right.
You know, like,
I want to see a goblin. I want to see a goblin look like that. The prosthetics that they made for the Tobey Maguire films, but they scrapped it or whatever because it was like too hard to do. The real creepy looking goblin, the more comic accurate looking one. But then they did the helmet.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do when you think about it. Just kind of like live action.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like if they were to do a Joker, you know, comic accurate, you know, with like you have to get prosthetic long face, and, you know, change and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the only person who looked like live action Joker who looks like they have like that, Willem Dafoe,
that's
the or even like Joaquin to an extent because he has like that more triangular kind of face.
Right.
Yeah,
the chin, the chin's a big part of it for sure.
Yeah. Jared Leto was just handsome with white makeup on.
Who's playing a Joker? Oh, the dude.
I'll tell you what, though, I could see Jared Leto being the Joker that cuts his face off and wears the skin.
I could, totally,
definitely. Like, you know, like I totally.
No disrespect to Leto, I do like that Joker.
I do too, actually.
That's why I'm really excited for the haircut because I'm like, I know for sure we're gonna see
a lot more.
What he what he really intended to do with that character.
Even in the fucking novelization, there's way more that we see of him. Like, there's a whole scene they cut out where remember Common's cameo where he plays Monster T? He Joker he like tempts him to kill himself and he shoots himself and then he
shoots himself.
Yeah, right. And then afterwards he like grabs Harley by the arm and like fucking yanks her out of the club and he's like pissed at her. Like, you see like this bipolar like side of Joker where he's like mad at her, but then he fucking loves her, and then he like sometimes he feels like he just wants to strangle her. Like there's a duality in the book that's really fascinating.
Which is like, you know, perfect. Like,
perfect. Right. That's what I was just gonna say. That's actually accurate. You know what I mean? Like, their relationship isn't some sort of like perfect love story. It's not at all. It's by the furthest thing from that. You know what I mean? It's toxic as hell. It's, you know.
He really animated series explored that more.
Like
and even then you saw him like constantly like, you know, disown her or, you know, this that, you know what I'm saying? Like, get out, you know what I'm saying? Kicks her in the, you know, like, you know.
It does that in the book. It does. Like the scene when before the Batmobile chase sequence, when Batman's going after them, there's a bit of a buildup where I think like her and Harley are like just driving in Gotham City, and she's like trying to be all cutesy and like flirty with him, and he's just like completely like ignoring her. And I think in the book it described like he he like wants to kill her so badly, but he like can't live without her or something like that. It's like some weird fucked up shit the way the book describes like Joker's mentality, how he feels about Harley. It's really interesting.
It sounds like what they were going for was just going more deep into it, you know, like
it sounds like they just kind of took the story of like, right, Joker won't kill Batman because he can't. Joker doesn't exist.
Can't live with it.
Kind of like they just kind of put that with Harley, which makes sense. I think that's a great.
Which makes sense though.
That's great character, work for great character development for a film. Because you got to remember too, like these relationships, you can't always just copy and paste the comic into the movie and expect it.
No, not at all.
Translate to real life. Yeah, it's
but that's what I feel like. Even with these, like let's just say like the Batman and Joker idea, or even right now, like Harley and Joker. I don't, it's not so much about trying to adapt what they've seen, or what we've gotten already. It's more about digging. This is what I mean by it. It goes deeper. Like it's more like putting to life what we all probably assume is there, because you have, the constant question is, why hasn't Batman just killed Joker? So the only assumption you could come up with is there's like this,
Game of Thrones,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Titans is exploring. I know you guys probably already went through the Titans stuff, but Titans is kind of exploring that, right?
Titans, yeah.
Wait. Let me ask Austin. What'd you think of this week's episode?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, look, that was
somebody else is on my side. Yeah.
Look, that was the big thing for me.
I love Scarecrow. I love Scarecrow too, and Ryan hates him.
I don't hate him. I just don't like him.
Well, here's the thing. It was like building up to this. I was like, I already had a little bit of a bias once Batman kills Joker, because I was like, okay, well, they just took Jason Todd's motivation completely away.
Right. It robbed that. Right.
That for me was like, okay, if you're gonna do this, you gotta keep, and if you're going to change it, it better be fucking good.
Well, that's why I like the episode, because the episode kind of sold me on their version a little bit more.
I actually I like the whole Scarecrow makes him type thing, and
look, I haven't gotten that far, so just I'm gonna assume that's no, it's okay, it's okay. You're I'm gonna assume that's the drug he was working on in the beginning, in the first 2 episodes that
it ties back to Scarecrow.
Okay. I figured as much. I'm like, I feel like that has to do with Scarecrow.
Dude, the whole dance and everything.
That was I actually really loved that.
I pictured the costume on him in that moment. You know what I mean? I was like,
and I really liked it. I know this guy is probably gonna get the boot because he did some stuff, I guess, on set.
I'm pretty sure in the early teasers we saw him in costume in a quick flash, didn't we?
I think because remember they did show, maybe it was just the shot of the mask. That
maybe.
But remember, he's
looking
at
it.
Going
to have it. Like he's gonna get out and have it eventually. I think in the show. I wouldn't be surprised if Todd sneaks back into the. See, I don't know if I told you yet, Vega, but see, my whole prediction about the show is that they're setting up the Red Hood and the Outlaws spinoff, and that's why they rushed Red Hood this season. And what's going to happen is by the end of the season, something's going to happen with Corey and Blackfire that makes Corey have a fallout with the rest of the team. Corey and Jason are going to leave together. Somehow they're going to link up with Arsenal, and then bang, Red Hood and the Outlaws is going to happen in the show. And that's going to be the spinoff show. Definitely. Okay. And then they can also throw in the whole 3-way relationship between them and give the show the sex element, because Corey's playing it like they don't have monogamy the same way as us, and she loves them both in the beginning of Red Hood and the Outlaws, and she's like, it's like that movie Savages, it's like they're both her boyfriend. And she sleeps with both of them, but they're cool with
that movie Savages.
Cool, they're all living on an island, illegal, because they went on the run for everything that happened. It was a good run in the comics. I think they changed the team now. I think now it's Bizarro and Artemis. It's not Corey and Arsenal anymore. I don't think.
That's the one thing I think. Every time Red Hood is on screen in that show, it's amazing. I love every time Red Hood shows
the
up.
Second fight with him and Nightwing was really
good.
That was easily the karate fighting and all.
Easily the highlight of the season so far is that fucking forest fight. That's easily the highlight.
Ryan's like, I'm not having it.
That's one of them for me. But the whole scarecrow.
That's mine.
That was another one for me. Was the scarecrow dance and dialogue was a highlight.
Yeah. And Hank's death. And Hank's death as well.
Hank's death.
That was pretty. Yeah, I was.
Hank
Pretty,
died? No, I'm playing.
I was about to say.
No, like you gotta get the spoilers graphic.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I'm still trying to figure out. I gotta figure out drops, dude. I'm gonna get drops loaded up, and I gotta make my intro better instead of just the still image with the fucking like Windows explosion thing. Like,
right.
I'm still figuring all that stuff out. I figure I'll just start doing the show, and all that can come together as I go. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it all comes with time. It all comes.
Right.
But I do gotta figure out drops.
Yeah,
I purposely recorded I went up to my big screen with my phone Saturday morning and purposely recorded a couple shots of Enosh like really soloing out and shit on the guitar so I could eventually bomb him with them one day. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Hopefully he's not.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I was like, I gotta get some of this on tape just in case. But I'm still trying to figure out, like, how you how you even like make them in the first place to get them in the clip form and put them into StreamYard. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta
download it through YouTube on like your computer, and then you gotta save it onto StreamYard and shit like that.
Oh, what do they have, like a section of them or something, like GIFs on Twitter?
No, like if you want to get like drops,
like actually like download the.
You mean
like download the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Like I wish, like I've tried to like airdrop them from my phone because like I have a lot of like stupid shit that I save on my phone, but like it doesn't do that. It has to go through like the fucking computer, which kind of sucks.
It'd be so easy if you could just do it like Twitter.
Well,
you know,
depending on the video, depending on the YouTube video, you can screen record it with your iPhone and clip it that way.
I got you. Yeah, clip it up like that. Yeah. That's a good idea.
That's obviously depending. I think like if it's a Marvel video, they cut the audio out or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I have a couple that I'm going to be downloading for mine. Like I found this one of like this drunk guy falling. I don't know why. It's like the funniest shit to me. So I'm going to put it as like one of my drops.
Yeah, I was rewatching the like some SNL stuff, and I want to get the the dude that plays Sean Connery on the SNL Jeopardy stuff. He's like, I went out in the snow with your mother and wrote something in it.
Your mother.
It was your mother's handwriting.
It was your mother handwriting, Trebek.
I'd like the tits now, please, for 500.
I think it was Cheryl Hammond, right? Wasn't it?
What if I had sex with your mother, Trebek?
Yeah, they were the best.
Oh my god, I was on the floor right at that stuff because there's even a moment.
I just boned your wife.
There's even a moment.
And he'd always say the title's wrong, you know, like put the wrong words together and to say something sexual or something.
That's the one, and it's like
that's not what your mother said. Like
that's not what your mother said last night, Trebek.
Will Ferrell's sitting there and he goes, you know, I'd like to apologize, Trebek, for my behavior tonight. And he goes, oh really? Well, you go ahead and choose the counter. He goes, I'd like the tits now for it's let it snow. The tits now for 500. It's a French thing. I'd like to see the tits now.
There's so many great fucking Will Ferrell Saturday Night Live ones that you could probably get. You know what I mean? Like,
funny, I was watching a Step Brothers a few days ago with my brother. We were just fucking dying.
It's the best. It never gets old. Like,
it doesn't.
Anchorman too. Anchorman's another.
Oh yeah, Anchorman.
I was dying laughing in the theater with Anchorman for sure.
I think probably my two favorite, most rewatchable comedies are Anchorman and Tropic Thunder. Are those?
Ooh, I love Tropic Thunder.
They're both up there for me too.
Tropic Thunder is probably one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life.
Dude, that friggin' Anchorman, dude, like the whole fucking like all of them, like not even just Will Ferrell, but the way the four of them went off each other, dude.
Terrell in that butter commercial.
We don't give a fuck newscast. Like those guys really existed back in those days, like the way they acted. Like, I mean, they they over accentuated a little bit, but they were like based on like the Monday Night Football crew back in the day or so in the 80s and shit and stuff like that. They were always trashed like during the games and shit.
And Steve Carell's great. That was the
like
idiot
fucking Champ. Like when they're doing the intros and Champ's like, what's he say? He's like I like a good beer or something like and then he just starts like dying, laughing, falling off the chair, drunk. Like, I forget what he says, but it's like great that opening line Champ gives like.
When he with Paul Rudd when he opens his cabinet of sex colognes. Sex Panther.
Yeah, Sex Panther.
60% of the time, it works every time.
It's made of just real sex, real panther.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
It's made from real panther parts, so you know it works.
Or anything with Brick. Brick killed a guy. He's like, I killed a guy. I stabbed him in the heart with a trident.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Greg. That smells like pure gasoline. And the chick walked by in the background, like it smells like Bigfoot's dick. And they're like hosing him off with the fire.
I wasn't too much of a fan of the sequel. What was it, Anchorman or whatever? Anchorman 2.
The legend continues.
Yeah, it's all right.
You know what? What's interesting? There's like 3 different versions of that movie. And it's
really
interesting.
What, the second
they
one?
They have of the second one. There's a whole nother. There's 2 different versions that they filmed so many jokes that they could replace every joke twice over, and they have 3 different versions of the movie.
That's watching Steve Carell's outtakes on the first one were really good.
They're hysterical.
Like all those
when they're having his
shit out, like,
and he just walks up there and he starts talking about himself. I'm gonna miss him so much. You're right there.
Man.
Oh god, dude. I still to this day I still the fucking the one season of The Office that Will Ferrell comes in. I rewatch that season all the time, dude. Like when they first meet at the bar and then he does the Dundies with him and everything, dude. Like he was the Andy's like Andy's like getting all depressed because he became the joke guy. Like he has to make him laugh over and over,
And he starts pouring coffee on himself.
He's like, here, drink soap. Like hands him the fucking soap dispenser, and Andy's like, and then they show Andy, and Andy's like, I guess this is my life now.
Yeah. He goes to do that sale with him, and he's like, look, you could go, with this person, or you could go with Andy, who may or may not get you your paper on time. But I'll tell you what, he is okay. He's like, what?
And then with like Jim fucking like tries to stick up for Pam, and he like gets kicked out of the group. Pam's like, go in when he texts them all, and like Jim tries to walk in and he sit down and like not notice the shit. Yeah. Jim, like, Jim, can I help you?
Yeah. Dude, that's it. I think also the way that he went out was just absolutely hilarious. Trying to do the dunk shot and the basket falls on him, breaks his neck.
And then they brought in James Spader too. James Spader was great.
He was great. Oh my gosh,
the best was the party where he's like tripping on acid and he's telling them to all get naked with him and shit. Like Ryan and the tall dude from fucking Silicon Valley are like the only ones left in his house, like raving with him and shit at like 3 a.m. Like
Gabe's like, he went to sleep, we can leave. He goes, all right, bye. He's like still
oh god, dude, that fucking show, man. It's like it's like when you thought they couldn't top Seinfeld, then they, you know what I mean? Then they came out with that. Like,
Dude, The
Office. Oh my god.
And it's so funny because it's like wasn't that long ago, but there's no way a show like that would exist today. Even like, and the shows that are going out, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on its way out. All these other shows are on their way out.
Well, Brooklyn Nine-Nine's coming back.
Well, they still exist now, but now they're like cable. Now they have to be like MA.
Right.
Like they won't be network shows. Because I mean, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's like that same kind of, and they just got 4 more seasons renewed.
Right.
You know, they're coming back for 4 more seasons.
You're right.
I enjoyed Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I did enjoy that one. I did enjoy Brooklyn. I mean, I won't compare it to The Office, but I enjoyed it. I laughed.
But it's on its last season. They're on their last. They're on their final
I never
season.
like
but the one
that
that come out is the last season.
Fox.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of Fox shows. I'm like,
oh, okay.
If anything you want to learn about Ill Life tonight, he doesn't like Fox shows.
not
Yeah,
usually.
right.
There's
I
a rare
learned
one
that
in the
tonight,
mix every now and then. Like I like like the cartoons, like Fox.
Family
How about
Guy,
Arthur?
Like
Family
Family
Guy,
Guy,
American
fucking
Dad,
Bob's Burgers, all that shit's
Futurama.
good.
Bob's
Family,
Burgers.
American
Bob's
Dad,
Burgers.
like that shit's all great, but
Yeah,
something about their TV shows, like their comedies and their dramas and action shows and stuff, they all just have this like little bit of too cheesy veil over them for me or something. Like I don't know, like that, like they don't hit that same standard as like the NBC comedies and dramas to me. You know what I mean? Like it's like they fall short, you know.
Right.
And I always felt like Brooklyn Nine-Nine like should have been an NBC show. You know,
wait,
like,
was
it
was an NBC show? It moved to Fox.
Oh, that's right.
You're
right.
You're
Yeah, Fox bought it. Yeah, you're right.
Because
that makes sense.
Sandberg
it makes
and
sense that Andy
Michaels
Samberg would be in the NBC family, you know, coming out of Saturday Night Live and everything.
Coming out of SNL, yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Dude, yeah, even like another one I like a lot is 30 Rock. 30 Rock has some real iffy.
They had the crown for a while there.
Did you guys ever watch and I wonder whatever happened to it? I don't know, because I actually enjoyed it, but you know the Dwight from The Office, right? That character, that actor, I forget his name, but he had a show.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's his name. Yeah, he had this show called Backstrom where he was like a detective. Did you guys ever watch that show?
No.
Oh man, that show was good. He did
I'll look it up.
It was great.
It's definitely worth checking out if he's in it. Like.
Yeah, Backstrom. It came out back in 2015. And I remember watching because I'm like, oh hey, that's the guy from The Office. You know what? Like I want to see what else he could do. You know, because this is something a little different. He's a whole like detective and stuff. And man, it's good because you know you think it's probably gonna be another comedy, and it's really not. It's actually like it's a thriller, suspense thriller, but like it does have the comedy in it. You know, you see kind of like similarities to the old character or the character from The Office, but he kind of does his own thing with this character. Definitely worth the watch. I enjoyed it. I'm a little like disappointed it didn't continue. I thought it was actually good.
Have you watched Barry?
Barry?
No, but I wanted to.
Dude, it's so good. I wish they would do the new season already. Like I'm waiting for the. I guess
filming
COVID,
it. I know.
Are they filming it? Or
they're filming
COVID
it.
Fucked it up or whatever. But yeah,
that
show is really good. It's Bill Hader's a hitman. Yeah, dude.
I gotta watch that one. I gotta watch.
Yeah, and it's like he's just like a very strict, like this is my job. When the guy calls me with a job, I go do it, and then like he's like a normal everyday guy when he's not a hitman. You know what I mean?
You know
like,
what? I've been meaning to. You say that, and now I remember seeing the commercial for it. That did pique my interest. It's just one of those shows I haven't gotten to it, but I definitely intend to watch it. I actually,
and you know why I checked it out? Because he did an interview about it on Jesus and Mero. You ever watch them? Dude, they're the best. They're like the best late night talk show. Like it's on Showtime because it's like rated R.
Oh no, I never watched that one.
These two hood dudes, like fucking black dude and a like black hair Puerto Rican dude that are from like Brooklyn or Bronx or something that they just like do like a hood version of like Jimmy Fallon or something. You know what I mean? It's hilarious. It's hilarious, dude.
I gotta check it out. I haven't checked it out.
They used to be on. They used Jesus and Mero. Or Jesus and Mero. I'm not sure how you pronounce their names, but that's how it's spelled. It's like DESUS.
Are those the two guys that come out on the GIFs every now and then? Like there's a few GIFs with them.
It might be. They used to be on Vice Network, and then Showtime bought the show from Vice and started putting it on Showtime, like uncut. Like,
because I'm I want to. Yeah, go ahead. Because I feel like
you could even go back and watch the Vice ones too. Like the Vice one, it's like the same show basically, but they just kind of like amp certain parts of it up a notch on Showtime. You know what I mean? But that was like Bill Hader came on and did an interview talking about the show, and from him talking about it directly to them in like a real way and joking about it and everything, I was like, I'm gonna check this out, and then I watched it, and I was like, I binged the whole thing in like a day because I was like, this is fucking great. Like,
oh wow.
There's that Amazon one, Wayne. That's good too. The one on Amazon, it's called Wayne. It's about that kid from like Boston that's like all fucked up. His dad dies in like the first episode. His house burns down, but his dad, dies. and like apparently like his mom was like a junkie that fucked him over when he was a kid and stole his dad's car and left him for another guy when he was a kid and went to Florida, but the car was supposed to be given to him when he turned a certain age. So after the dad dies, he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna go get my fucking car. And he like doesn't even know his mom and just like goes on a road trip like this like 18 or 17-year-old kid. And then this girl, he meets this girl a few days before and they hook up, and like he ends up like fucking her dad up and she leaves with him, and it's the little girl from Army of the Dead, the one that's like the little sister of the chick. Like she's in it when she's a little younger.
Oh really?
And, yeah, cool. and she's like the girl that runs away with him and becomes his girlfriend, and she's like this little like badass little like Boston area chick that's like her dad and brothers are all like drunk idiot assholes that are fighting all the time and like use her to cook and shit, you know, and like the dude Wayne's like, fuck that, leave them, come with me, you know. And her dad's what's his name? What I'm trying to think of what the fuck he's in. He's in all kinds of fucking shows and I can't think of one that he's in right now. Anyway, but it's a good actor, the dude that plays her dad. There's a lot of good people. It's a good show. It's a crazy show. Yeah. And then it's just like him having like all these crazy, like along the way, like somebody says something to him and he'll just like blast them in the fucking face and they'll take their shit and like drive to the next town. You know, like it's like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of element to it a little bit, but on a teenage level, you know what I mean? Like, right. Like they're both just like people from broken homes that don't give a fuck and like, are like, let's just go do whatever, you know, and go across the country. Like,
damn, yeah, you know, I've seen that show plenty of times. I'm like, and I know a lot of people talk about it. I've been meaning to jump into that one too, Wayne. I love low key. I just got Apple TV because I'm the one show that I'm really like trying to see what that's about, just because of Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista.
Oh yeah. I just don't want to pay for Apple TV yet, but yeah, at that, and there's a couple things on there I want to check out that like I just haven't got around to getting it. Like, but yeah, that Jason Momoa shit looks lit, dude. That shit looks fat. Like,
yeah, it looks good. It looks good. So
I saw the morning show on there. It's really good.
Yeah, that looks good too. The morning show. Yeah.
It's really good. You know, I mean, yeah, I haven't.
Isn't that that gangster John on there too about Bugsy? Forrest Whitaker plays fucking
Godfather of Harlem or something like that.
Yeah. Isn't that? Oh, it's epic. Oh, okay, all right. Damn, I got stars. I don't get that shit. What the fuck, man? I got stars on my Hulu for the whole Power universe.
Right.
Like, dude, that's my shit.
Power.
I'm raising. I didn't watch tonight's episode yet, but Raising Kanan too right now, like the whole thing. You know what's next, right? You know what the next season is, right? Fucking Tommy. Oh, it's gonna be like Tommy fucking coming back from Cali and everything, dude. Yeah, like I already read the whole like they're filming it right now, so it's like fucking Tommy's gonna get his whole season. That's what's great about that show is it's like. When you watch the show, it's like the black dude's the sensible one trying to make a legit business, and the white dude's like, "Yo, fuck that, we sell coke. This is what we do." You know what I mean? Like, I love that fucking show, dude. It's fucking great.
I haven't seen that. The Power.
Oh, it's fucking great, dude. It's a good ass show.
It's great. It's a must watch. Yeah,
and now they're like expanding it into a universe, you know, like even though
because they got like the prequel sort of right now with the kids.
Well, yeah, that's the Power Book 2 picked up where Power left off with the son kind of filling the dad's shoes. Right. But then now this Power Book 3 is the flashback to the 90s when they were teenagers. And it's starting out with 50 Cent's character, but I'm right now we're at like episode 4 was tonight. So I'm imagining that he's going to meet Tommy and Ghost's character soon as teenagers, you know, and Angela and everything. Because he's about to get into the better high school where they went in the show and Raising Kanan, you know what I mean?
Right.
But Raising Kanan's like, it's been great so far. The kid playing like Kid 50 is fucking awesome, dude. Like, I don't care what anybody said. Like 50, I hated him as a rapper, honestly, but like his TV shit's been pretty fucking good. Like fucking like Get Rich or Die Trying is a great movie. Like it really, I love that movie. Honestly, you know what I mean.
It is a good movie. It is a good movie. I agree. Like as a rapper, he was all right. He's okay. But yeah, his movie stuff, that or even shows, whatever, it's a lot like.
Yeah, like when Power first came out, I didn't start watching it at first because of his attachment.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
I mean?
I had that.
But then I saw Get Rich or
Man,
Die Trying, and I was like, wow, this is like a pretty good fucking movie. Like, I forget why I saw it. I think some chick that I was dating at the time was like, I want to watch this, and made me watch it. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty fucking good. This is a good movie, you know? And then I was like, I'm going to give Power a chance now that I seen that, you know what I mean? And it was good. And he wasn't even in Power yet. Like, he was like acting in it, but I knew he was like executive producing it or whatever.
Right.
I was pretty blown away by season one. Season one was like because I'm a big fan of shows. Like, I like The Shield. I like Sons of Anarchy, shit like that. And it had a very similar, like, even though it wasn't about the same kind of shit, it has a very similar, like, edge of your seat every episode. Like, how are they going to get out of this one? You know what I mean? Type of,
the vibe is the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, to this day, dude, I think The Shield is still, it was the first TVMA network TV show to ever come out. And to this day, it's still one of the best, I think. Like, I rewatch it like once a year. Like, that fucking show is incredible. Like let's make a show about cops in LA, but the cops are really the drug dealers. You know what I mean? Like, it's the whole premise was fucking great. Like,
it exists. It's true.
What
I feel like it paved the way for Training Day, kind of, too, at the time. If you think about the time frames of when it got popular and when Training Day came out. And
I'm sure it gave David Ayer the boost to, like, well, they're telling this kind of story.
People like this kind of thing.
Like, why not do it? But I feel like, then again, I don't want to say that was probably fully it, because I know in that, like, little letter he put out there, responding to that one tweet, he mentions how, like, every one of his movies are a part of his real life. Things that he experienced. So, like, I tell people all the time, like, don't get it twisted. Like,
The Shield's based on where he grew up. Basically, a lot of it. So
it's real stuff. It's real stuff. Like, there are cops that, I don't like. I've past life, not who I am now, but
I knew some growing up too.
You know what I'm saying? But truth is, I've gotten robbed from cops. You know what I'm saying? With my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was doing, like, it exists. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like, they could have easily locked me up.
Paperwork, right? Like,
exactly. Like, they're like, hey, like, don't worry about it. We're gonna give you this ticket, whatever, but we're taking all this. And it's like, damn, like that. Okay.
Yeah. Like, thanks for the bar tonight.
Right, it's like exactly. It's like, I'm sure you won't mind, because we're not gonna lock you up. We're just giving you a ticket. Like, all right, well, you're right. I guess I won't mind.
Dude, well, that's because because you're in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
It was the same thing with Philly. It's like, when you're in a major city like that, shit's so overcrowded that, like, cops can basically do whatever the fuck they want. Like, I've literally been pulled over in stolen cars that were reported stolen at the time I got pulled over, and
right.
And the cops would literally just be like, go to fuck home and let us just leave the car parked on the corner because they didn't want to do the paperwork. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you weren't killing nobody and you weren't like Nino Brown, you didn't really have to worry about cops. Like, pot was legal, walking around the streets drinking was legal. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole different world.
So then they can care less. Like, especially if they, like, for that, and this is why I laugh. Like, some people think, not to get into it, but, like, they, like, you think you're doing it, and it's like, you're only doing it if you are a priority for them to take down. You're not the big fish.
Yeah, exactly.
When they let you go with what you got, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I knew, like, I'm clearly not the big fish. Like, I'm clearly not that guy.
You're just the guy that's got to take a beating every once in a while. And
exactly. I'm clearly not that guy. Oh man, but it's
usually that's another thing, is that usually they were that guy.
Oh yeah,
like, it's like,
police brutality is a real thing.
I think they believe it. I've lost friends to it. Like,
it's a real thing, man. And you know what? But the funny thing is like, I tell people all the time, like, the times where I experienced it, I'm Puerto Rican, and it's like, oh man, it must have been like a white police officer. I'm like, nah, it was actually a black and Mexican detective that put the beating on me.
I've had it happen to me from black and white cops too. You know
what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it doesn't matter.
You know, this whole like, oh, it's fucking
Dude,
racial.
when you're
like,
in that
it's not always
environment,
racial, man.
When you're in that environment, it's the color don't matter.
It don't matter.
You're all N words to them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
When you're in those kind of neighborhoods and shit, it don't matter what color you are. You're.
It doesn't really. The discrimination comes from a whole other outlook. It's not really the color of your skin. It's more so the environment you're in, you know what I'm saying, and who you roll with, you know what I'm saying. The tattoos on you, they identify you, you know, colors you wear, you know, like
the corner you stand on.
Yeah, exactly, you know. So
and dude, the funny thing is as a teenager and shit, and like even in my young 20s, it's like some of those memories, it's like I like even to this day, like me and my friends like that are still alive, like we'll look back and laugh about it because it was like just so ridiculous sometimes the way they just like something would happen completely unrelated to us.
Right.
They roll up on the corner all of a sudden with like 2 paddy wagons and hop the curb.
Right.
Like everybody to fuck in, you know.
Yeah.
Like, they take you all to the station, throw you in the fishbowl, start pounding on you like one after, you know, like who the fuck did this? And you'd be like, fuck you, suck my dick, you know.
Right. Because you know, at that point, you know, you're not even trying to like.
But then, like 2 days later, you'd be like standing there talking to the same cop with a blunt in your hand, on the, you know what I mean? Like, coffee in the morning, you know what I mean? Like it's like. it's so crazy, like
it's so crazy, man. You know, like, oh man, but it's the reality. It's the reality, you know.
And it's the kind of thing that you don't realize until you grow up and go to other places. That it's like even, you know what I mean? Like that's like what my song "Kids" is about. Is like when you're a kid and you're in that, you don't realize to you that's the world. But then you grow up and realize that like all these other places aren't like that, and you're like, oh, it's kind of unique the way I grew up. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean, you know what's crazy about that is how vice versa that also is the reality for people who haven't grown in inner cities. You know, like we were. You know, to them it's a shock factor when they witness or hear. You know, or to the point where they believe things that are not even really true to what they hear about it because it's like they wouldn't know no better. And it's like, like, you know, like I said, 9 times out of 10 when I tell a story about, you know, the getting beat down by these cops, they think, oh, it must have been some white cops, you know, something racial. Like, nah, not at all. But that's what they hear, you know. They hear.
Dude, I'll tell you what, honest to God, like. I mean, like in my younger grades, like, you know, there's like mild, like race stuff might have happened in school, shit like that. But for the most part, as I was hitting my teens, my neighborhood became completely merged, you know, like when I was real little, it was like half white, half black with a line down the middle, kind of scattered a little on both sides. But then it all kind of became one neighborhood, like as I got older. And like I didn't really, as an older person, I didn't really experience like getting looked at as a white boy until I went to the suburbs and like met black dudes in the suburbs. You know, like it's weird, like it was weird, like it was almost like they had more of like a edge with the whole race thing. Like when I went out to the suburbs, when I moved my kids out there, you know, and I was in my young 20s and shit, like it that like I felt like people like I got mad at people and I got aggressive back at people because like they looked at me like a white boy or something, and I'm like, like dude, like your house is way nicer than my fucking house, you know what I mean? Like you have no idea who I am or like where I get, you know what I mean? It's like growing up, me and my black friends, like nobody that was never really there. We all just were in the same place and doing the same, you know what I mean? And it was just crazy that like I really like dead seriously didn't experience, and even like, you know, like even like just that whole like feeling of like I don't like that feeling. Like I'm not a racist person, but if you're racist to me, I'm gonna be angry back. Like I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like I don't like that, like, you know, and I do feel like I definitely like as the person I am, like in a certain context, I take offense to the word white boy if it's used in a certain way, you know what I mean? And like I moved out to Delaware County outside of Philly in my 20s and like experienced a lot of that kind of shit, like just meeting new people in the areas I was living in and stuff like that. And I was just like what the fuck? Like I never thought this would be the case, you know? And like it just really caught me off guard, like, you know.
And that's crazy how that is, because it's like you know, again, like you said, you know, in the city, you're used to a certain norm. You know, this whole color thing doesn't really exist. You know, it's not. It's really not a thing, you know. And then once you get to these suburbs, it's like that's when you experience it. It's like, holy
yeah, like
cow,
it's almost like they think that's what it is, like how they should be, or something. Like that's how, like they think they're being hood or something by hating on white people or something. You know what I mean? But that's not really the case.
It's like that's not really the case.
They got it all confused. You know what I mean? Like,
because in the city, hood is hood. You know, like it don't matter what you are.
Exactly. Yep.
You know,
like, that's definitely the truth.
It's crazy. So anyways, enough of power talk.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I got to get to bed fucking for work tomorrow. I gotta shut this down. I didn't expect to go this late. Honestly, we've been, what is it, 3 hours and 7 minutes?
3 hours, man.
Yeah, that's my longest one.
BBS.
There you go.
BBS screening.
Yeah,
my longest.
We got to reach ZSJL soon. The ZSJL runtime. Past that.
Yeah, I think it'll get there. It'll end up organically getting there, especially once I start doing the pot streams. Oh, did you smoke, right?
What? I'm sorry, what?
You smoke weed, right?
I mean, not as much as I used to here and there, but yeah.
Well, because I'm trying to put together like a weed vodka stream, like a second.
We're assembling a team
where we get blazed and like talk about.
We're putting together a team.
We're putting together a team.
What are we? Some kind of
I'll keep you on the list for the panel.
We are looking for people with super lungs.
Exactly.
What are we? Some kind of pot squad?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my god, dude! I got to put that in the thumbnail or something.
Right.
I better get full royalty credits for that.
I want to get Green Lantern with, like the weed symbol as the lantern.
With the weed symbol.
I want to do something like that.
That'd be fire.
That's my plan. Like, and then instead of the ring, it'll be like a glowing bong or something in his hand.
Dude, could you imagine, bro? If Green Lantern pulls in guys,
well, because look,
just creates a bar.
Right.
It's going to be called the Snyder Ave, the Snyder Ave Sunday Superhero Smokeout Stream is what I want to call it. And then the anagrams, like TSS.
Damn, that would be dope. That would be dope.
But you guys want to go around the horn? Tell everybody where to find you. All 4 of them. We still got 4 people hanging with us.
Yeah.
Caleb's still here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Brother Caleb, man.
No, but I'll tell you what, I've been getting a lot of after watches, so it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
But no, you want to tell everybody where to find you?
Who's first?
Vega, Austin, Ryan.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, bet. All right. Well, once again, Ill Life, you the homie, man. Appreciate you having me on here. Yeah, everyone who joined in on the chat, it was a great time, good conversation. If you wanna follow me or find me, subscribe, whatever. On YouTube, it's Il Divino Vega, as you see here, or wherever it's at. There you go, boom. On Twitter, it's this Vega the Boss. IG Vega the Boss. And like Ill Life, I do music, I rap, so you can find my music on YouTube. You can find it on pretty much anywhere Apple, Tidal, Spotify, wherever you listen to music, it's there.
You and Austin should link up for one of his episodes, dude.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. No doubt. No doubt.
Vega's really good too, man. He's got some good shit. Like.
No doubt. I've been on, I mean, not on the channel, but I've visited a few times watching what's going on in the pop culture. Are you there? That's the channel you're on, Pop Culture?
Yeah, Pop Culture. Yeah.
I've seen you there a few times. So I hop on there every now and then. Yeah,
he's doing his own show and he's doing music acts on it. And next week I'm doing the first music act. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm actually performing like a few songs on it. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
figure you could be an act for him for another episode or something. You know what I mean?
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. And if anything, I got this there's the SnyderCult anthem that I did for the hub account where it's all profits go to AFSP. I did a song for the RT Aircut SF account called Unity, and all profits go to the Vet Dogs Foundation, or Vets for Dogs. or Dogs for Vets, whatever foundation, but it's all going there.
Would you do that through DistroKid?
I'm doing it through TuneCore, bro. I use
TuneCore.
Yeah, although I know a lot of people tell me to use DistroKid too, but I started off with
because I know YouTube don't let you until you hit a certain amount of subs or whatever. You can't get the charity thing. Like,
well, see, I have to do it personally, obviously. Like, so what it is I do usually, like, I'll record myself, doing all, like, I show my I guess my quarterly play streams that were made. I'll show what it is, what the number is, what the profits were, and then I'll go ahead and show that, look, this amount. And honestly, I usually do more because, it still hasn't created enough for me to be like, oh, that's a solid amount.
It takes a lot for it to make any real money. I know.
Yeah, it really, for sure.
I've made like $10 in 2 years. Like,
yeah, exactly. So, I make the most money off of songs that other artists decided to use without leasing. And that's where I get most of my money, because it's like, they're playing their songs and I like, whatever, that's where the money comes from for me. But anyways, all that to say that, if you listen to those songs, whether you stream them, whether you buy them, just know that the profits are going to these foundations. But other than that, I do have my own music. And yeah, check it out, man. It's you could find it under Vega. I'm about to like start another account, artist account called, where it's gonna be Il Divino Vega. Apparently, there's more than one Vega out there. I had no clue. So like when you go search for Vega, there's like all these other artists, and then even my own songs that I put up to the TuneCore for whatever reason, they're like all over the place. They're like on like other Vega artists, and I have to constantly hit up TuneCore like, hey man, can you? And I have to send them.
Really, dude?
Yeah, dude, it's like this whole mess.
That's one thing I don't have danger with my name. Like,
yeah, right. So
I get mixed up with cancer all the time. Like,
so yeah, but yeah, go check it out, y'all. Check it out.
Definitely,
absolutely,
awesome.
Yeah, you guys can find me over at the Pop Culture Corner, as Olaf said. Starting September 6th, I got my own show, Lean on Me, starting on Monday nights at 10:30 Eastern Standard, and Olaf will be one of the musical guests on the first episode. The first episode, like I said, September 6th, so definitely check it out there on the Pop Culture Corner. And then on Twitter, I'm also on Twitter at AlienLV1023, and there I just post dumb stuff and try and make people mad because it's fun.
I'm gonna light that shit up too, dude. Believe me, like my life.
I can't wait.
I
can't wait, man.
I love a stage, even if it's virtual. I'm gonna tear that shit up, bro.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait, man.
Ryan.
If y'all want to find my YouTube channel, it's The Real Burn Productions. Subscribe to there, and I got a Twitter at The Real Burn, as you can see in my little, whatever the fuck it's called, the little tab right there. And y'all can also follow me on my Instagram, Rye_Rivera. And thank you as always for having me on, man. It's always great talking to you. Always is.
It's an awesome show, man. It's a good conversation.
It was great.
All around, man. It's a good time.
I got to get you on my panel soon, dude. Like it's way overdue.
I know, dude. It's because we usually do Friday, right? Like earlier on Friday, right? Like
yeah, I usually I was doing watch parties for a little bit, but I haven't done it in a little bit. So I'm thinking I'm going to bring those back, and I'll shoot you a link, and we can watch like a movie.
What? Like over on Twitch, you mean, or
no? Like on
I guess YouTube. if it's not a Snyder movie, we can do it on YouTube, right?
No, like it's the way I do it is everyone who comes on like will go to like either HBO Max or one of like the streaming apps.
Like 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah. We'll be synced up and shit like that. So
definitely, I'm definitely down to do that. Yeah.
Gotta do that one
day. I really enjoy that. Yeah, you do like a commentary on stuff. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, and then like my more proper ones I do with my boy Phil. We do the pre-recorded, all proper and professional, no fucking around. Like I
was watching the first BVS one. I didn't finish it yet, but it's good.
Yeah. And I'm going to be working on part 2 of the BVS commentary, so that should be out later on this week.
Very cool.
Oh, dope.
Sweet.
Make sure to tune in.
And you can all find me at Ill Life, and please subscribe. Anybody that hasn't, anybody that comes and watches this video, please subscribe. I could really use the subscribers, and please hit the thumbs up. And you can find me. I'm Ill Life on everything basically, and on Instagram I am also Rackstack Music is my production company. So thank you everybody for coming. Thank you everybody in the chat. Caleb, Koj, everybody that was here. And thank you to Belle Reeve as well. Go subscribe to her. She was here earlier and had to leave.
Shout out Belle.
We will see you guys next week.
Night.
And good night. Peace out. Thanks again. Inspired us fans so much. Could have been a weekend past that day we had the hashtag up. Release the Snyder Cut, and we would not give up till we got to see the vision Warner Brothers promised us. And then we trended up despite all the naysay, and made them notice that we were never gonna go away. Kept fighting every day, and I guess that was the key. Cause now we're really gonna see Zack Snyder's Justice League. Release the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut. It was the Justice League, and you douchebags fucked it up. Release the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut. Why did you chop it up and make it fucking suck? Now we're getting Zack JL, now we're getting Zack JL, and all the naysayers